the 8th round of America's premier off-road racing championship, the Snowshoe GNCC. Today, we introduce to you our top 10 in overall points, including both XC1 and XC2 riders in this list today, my friends. And he rolls out first today with the first choice on the starting line aboard the number 1 with 6 wins here in 2017 on the WFR Yamaha Maxxis Fly FMF LSR MXP back machine out of Rogers, Ohio. Your two-time and defending GNCC champion, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today in points. He owns this mountain, or at least he stakes his claims, from West Union, West Virginia, the only natural-born GNCC racer to win this race on a CST Tires Induction Solutions LSR Hyper Spider Graphics backed Honda, Adam McGill. Rolling to the line next, he is third in points aboard the number 5 from Bidwell, Ohio on a Coastal Racing Yamaha, the Bidwell Bullet, BRYCEN NEAL. Rolling to the line today, 4th in points aboard the number 3, a 6-time GNCC champion. Also, the rider who holds the most wins of any GNCC racer of all times is 73. On the Maxxis Fly Racing Amsoil back Suzuki, Chris BORICH. Rolling to the line next, he is 5th in points aboard the number 5. He won here 2 years ago. Out of Casca, Pennsylvania on a JMR ATV Riders.com backed Honda, the Snake, a.k.a. Cobra, Jared McClaw. Rolling to the line next, he is 6th in points aboard the number 7 from Glenville, Pennsylvania on the GBC Motorsports Canyon Fly Racing backed Honda, Lyndon Wolf. Rolling to the line next, 7th in points. He won the X Factor GNCC from Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha backed Yamaha, Johnny Gallagher. From the XC2 Pro-Am ranks, he is 8th in points, riding aboard the number 17 from Newfield, New York on an Ithaca Recreation Seat Concepts Motor X-backed Yamaha, Hunter HART. 9th in points in the overall. He rides aboard the number 16, also an XC2 Pro-Am class rider from Windsor, New York, on an MR Unlimited GBC Tires Spider Graphics backed machine, Devin Feehan. And last and certainly not least, also from New York, he rides aboard the number 8, a rookie in 2017 in his XC1 class, from Richford, New York on a Dillinger Pup GBC Motorsports Moose Racing backed Honda, Marty Christopherson. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup of our top 10 here at the Snowshoe GNCC. Other riders of note and interest today that you'll be watching for include the likes of rider number 10, Josh Merritt out of Akron, Ohio. The number 14, Denville, New Jersey's Randy Hamilton. Also, Brent Sturnivant is here with us, along with Kevin Yoho, Cody Collier, Brian Wolf, who's won this event a couple of times, also out there with us, and also Tucker Wyatt all the way from Green Valley, Missouri, on that starting line from that XC1 Pro class here today as we turn our attention down here to the start line. And Ricky Towery once again today, as we try to get it all sorted out here on Snowshoe Mountain. Who's going to walk away with the big, big win, as we are right now relining these riders back up on this front starting line. Chris BORICH making his way down here. If you look across the front row right now, Chris BORICH has won a Snowshoe GNCC. Jared McClure has won a Snowshoe GNCC. Walker Fowler has won a Snowshoe GNCC. And Adam McGill has won a Snowshoe GNCC. And Johnny Gallagher, are you ready to tackle this mountain? Woo! Johnny Gallagher is ready to go off of row number 2 right now as we turn our attention to Ricky Towery. And he is about to begin our starting sequence right now. Again, we are waiting on the official word from the track crews and trying to get this thing ready to go. But again, we must have a free and clear racetrack in order to start these things out today. I got to know, West Virginia, are you ready to go? Snowshoe GNCC Racing! As I said, not a clear racetrack, so we're going to make sure that we have a clear racetrack before we get this race up and rolling today. Standing on the line right here, Chris BORICH, man, I got to ask you as we get set to tackle this for the 11th time. Buddy, how are you feeling getting ready to go into Snowshoe today?
Feeling really good. Looks like it's going to be fun out there. I like what I see here, all these fans out here cheering us on.
All right, that's Chris BORICH. He's ready to go here today. Also, the number 4, Jared McClure. You took a win here a couple of years ago, buddy. You got to be chomping at the bit here on row number 1 today.
Yeah, Rodney, just ready, man. Looking for a good, smooth first lap here and run with these guys, have some fun.
So what is the secret and key to winning for you today, man?
Never stop moving out there. Keep moving forward and, watch the clock.
There you go. He knows what he's got to do today. The only rider on row number 1 here this week that has not won at Snowshoe GNCC, BRYCEN, NEAL. Can he change that here today, BRYCEN? I don't want to put the weight on your shoulders, man, but the big smile tells me you might be thinking about it.
I want to join the club, too.
All righty, man. So how you going to do that, man?
I'm just going to take a good start, being smart, and just keep on moving forward.
There you go. That's BRYCEN NEAL moving forward for him today, folks. As we go to your defending GNCC champion right here, Walker Fowler. And Walker, we talked to you earlier today, man. You're chomping at the bit. You know, and knowing what's going on out there right now, this is a tough course, but we know it's got to be tougher, and I think that you're excited and ready to go today.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that we get to talk to everyone right here on the start line before the race, but when there's a bunch of people listening, it's the time to say it. This is our mountain this year. It's the McGill reign is over.
Oh, Walker Fowler has called him out down here, and we go to the guy that he talks about right here. He says it is no more McGill Mountain. Adam McGill, what do you say about that, my friend?
I say, more bear?
And I think that most of West Virginia might agree with you, but I know in reality, man, it's all about the racing right now.
Oh, for sure, for sure. He's over here in his little bubble. He's got his dad in his safe spot and all that. So I'm telling you, you guys watch out. You're going to have a hell of a good race today. We pull it off, we're going to put a toll booth at the bottom for all these blue guys, so they have to pay to get up on our hill.
So there you hear it. McGill has also laid the claims as well today. But here's something unique and interesting as well. Back here on row number 2, Johnny Gallagher, we want to say thanks to you for being out here again. And, man, I tell you, excitement abounds because you, man, you know what this is all about. You know what Snowshoe is all about. You know what we celebrate when we talk about the Blackwater 100, man, and you are ready to go today.
You know what? I want to up the trash talk a little bit on both Walker and Adam. If I win this thing today, everybody here, Foxfire after the race, first round's on me.
All right. So everybody's going to be cheering for Johnny Gallagher today. I'm pretty sure of that one at this point. Let's go over here to a couple of our XC2 guys. This guy, XC2. We're talking about Hunter Hart. Hunter, man, I tell you what, your first opportunity to be in the top 10 overall and start out like this. A few weeks ago, man, you were leading the overall. You're in a great position today. You got to be pretty stoked about this one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're definitely hoping to lead at least one lap today, maybe 2. Definitely lead the most important one.
The most important one being the one where the checkers are flying, and Hunter Hart is ready to go for that one. And then we go over here to this guy right here, the number 16, Devin Feehan. Devin, I tell you, man, you got to be super pumped and excited to be up here in the mix of these guys.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to be up here with some fast dudes. Hopefully we can try and keep up.
What's the game plan today, man? I know that you're one of those guys, you could sneak one in yourself today, man.
Just going to keep these wheels turning, man.
And that seems to be the name of the game. That's Devin Peam, the number 16. As we move over here to LW himself, Landon Wolf. Landon, quiet, calm, cool, and collected as always, brother. But, man, like you said, you bring out the forces. The entourage is here with you. A lot of folks from out of the home state over here to West Virginia ready to cheer you on today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. Everybody's talking about whether it's McGill Mountain or Fowler Mountain, but I don't know about these guys, but every sign around here says Snowshoe Mountain, so it's any of our games.
Oh, so he's letting them know that he can see his race as well. And Marty Christopherson, with all the trash talk going on, man, from out of New York, I'm sure you're ready to lay it down. Maybe not on the microphone, but definitely on the racetrack today.
Yeah, you know, being from upstate New York, we're used to this wet weather, so no stranger to it. Ready to roll and mix it up with these guys and see what we can give them.
You're in a great position here today, Marty. This could be the start of something big for you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll meet everyone at the bar afterwards and finish the trash talking there.
There you go, and that's where it'll all unfold there for you today, my friends. At the end of it, the trash talk will be talked here today. It'll be played out here on the course today, and of course, at the end of this, we will know who is going to be our Snowshoe GNCC champion for 2017. And I tell you, folks, with the amount of talent that we've got out here today, there's a lot of folks that are chomping at the bit. I'm looking for the 341 right now. Where is Brian Wolf? Right here. This guy right here, winning this particular event as an XC2 rider. The first time you rode this race back in 2007, I believe you finished 7th in the Junior 22 plus A class, but you moved up through the ranks in the XC2 and then the XC1 eventually. But before you did that, man, you conquered this mountain.
Yeah, it was unexpected, and it was pretty exciting, though.
So let me ask you, as unexpected as it was then, do you feel something like you felt that day?
I mean, if McGill thinks he's going to win it, he better get 20 more seconds in front of Walker and the rest of us.
Whoa! And the rest of us as well. So even Brian Wolf's got a little trash talk out here for us, folks, as we get set to tackle this Snowshoe Mountain. And again, for those of you folks that are tuning in at home on RacerTV.com, want to just let you know that we have certainly lived up to the name of America's new toughest race here in the GNCC Racing Nation, as we are still trying to make sure that the track is 100% clear before we send this host of riders into the wild, wonderful West Virginia mountains and this Snowshoe Mountain Resort. Again, folks, if you look out around, and I don't know if you folks are looking on the TV, but if you scan and pan around the area here, we are nearly 5,000 feet in the air at elevation 4,848 feet, 48, and we woke up this morning with our heads in the clouds. There's no doubt about that, rightfully so, because we had a great day on tap for us as we rolled into this one. Of course, the clouds moved out. It looked like fog up here on the mountain, but the clouds moved out, the fog moved out, and we have got a beautiful sunshiny day, and you can look around us and see right here today why exactly they say almost heaven, West Virginia. It is an amazingly beautiful place, and we are certainly privileged and honored to be able to be here at this beautiful ski resort for this Grand National Cross Country Affair. And again, folks, last weekend would have celebrated the 43rd running of the Blackwater 100, and to be able to be here so close to that anniversary celebration, we are certainly elated with that. And the word is official. Fire 'em up, boys! It's time to go racing. Oh, are you ready to go, GNCC? Yeah, baby! All right. Yeah, we got fans that are packed, stacked, and ready to rock here today. As on row number 1, we're getting ready to go. We're getting thumbs up from everybody out here. Double thumbs up from Tim Scott right there right now. And on row number 1, as we get set to start this great day of racing on Snowshoe Mountain, Walker Fowler aboard the number 1, Chris BORICH aboard the number 3, the number 4, Jared McClure, the number 5, BRYCEN NEAL, and the 521 on the inside pole, Adam McGill. All attention turning to Ricky Tyree, letting them know that we are 1 minute away from going Snowshoe GNCC racing here in the birthplace of America's premier off-road racing championship and the world-renowned AMSOIL GNCC. The
the blue flag is about set to wave. And not this week, friends. Not this week. We do not shut them down. Keeping in tradition of Black Water Racing, they are live engine start. 10 to 15 seconds apart, and Ricky Tower is now readying this first row, ready to tackle the Snowshoe in 10 seconds. Adam McGill may be grabbing the early lead. Row 2, and Hunter Hart. Row 3, Greg Colbert, Josh Merritt, Matthew Linder, Wesley Wolf, and Tucker Wyatt. Row 4, Randy Hamilton, Cody Collier, Drew Landers, and Brian Wolf. Row 5, James Green and Brent Sturdivant. Kevin Yoho. Row number 7 coming up. Levi Cohen, Gabe Nod, Cameron Bruce, and Brandon Eichard. More XC2 Pro-Am riders coming out. Kenny Schick, Kenneth Kelly, Bryson Hobbs, J.D. Brown, and Braden Henthorn. Welcome back. 6:21 coming up next. Row number 9 will be Wyatt Wilkin. Row 10, Devin Masters, Taylor Arnold, and Sam Huff. Old Huffy getting ready to tackle the mountain himself. Row 11, College age 16 to 21-year-old riders Sean Guana Jr., Tanner Walker, and Bodie Lamoureux. 12, college age 16 to 21. Nick Loyalty, Mike Schaefer, Seth Wilson, and Andrew Herring. Row 13, Caleb Hagan, Tyler Swindle, Davis Brinson, Joseph Yerkes, and Dustin Atkinson. Row 14, more college age. Joey Lambright, Andrew Van Ofsky, and McCain Jennings. Two college A riders, Jacob Scott and Eric Schraub. Junior A, 22 plus, Nicholas Mastrangelo, James Monger, and Jack Dean, row number 16. Looks like we had an extra one on that one. Also, row 70, Matthew King, Braden Nichols, Destry Nunley, Garrett Crop, and Zach Wright, Junior A, 22 plus. Row 18, Andrew Connors, Matt Globa, and Michael McAvoy. Row 19, Junior A, Jade Millwood, Doug Morris, Ryan Thompson, and Brody Livingood. Up next, Bid A, 28 plus, AJ Kuntz, Jeff Pickens, Travis Austin, Dustin Hendershot, and Adam Reed. 28, bet 28 plus the Marlboro man, Thomas Taylor, Chris Shaw, and Kevin Patterson. Row 23, bet A, Matthew Ellison, Delbert Ringer, Walter Schumacher, and Brad Whitehead. Row 24, senior AB, 38 plus, Chris Berry, Michael Hayes, and Andy Cooper. Row 25, senior AB, Wes Stone, Billy McCauley, Michael Satchel, Stephen Holmes, and Joe Gower. Row 26, Michael Anderson, Dylan McClellan, Chandler Burner, Logan Weishaupt, and Cameron Avey. College B, that class is College B, 16 to 21. More College B. Row 27, Trevor Taylor, Emily Wise, Carter Kearns, welcome back, and Cole Jacklish. Row 28, Michael Hoofine, Kelton Harbin, Nathan Burkholz, Chase Beecher, Corey Vanderleiter, College B. Row 29, College B, Kate Vanderbilt, Gavin Jenkins, and Doug Higgins. HB Road, Donald Boylan and Mark Miller. Road 32, Junior B 22 plus class, David Kite, Chris Ballou, William Wallace, and Reese Parvin. Road 33, Junior B, Evan Timko, Alan Balebos, Chris Miller, Anthony Simonetti, and Bo Nakotis. Road 34, Junior B, Daniel Ransbottom, Curtis Tallman, Ben Danner, Byron Tuttle, and Ethan Petro. Bet B 30 plus class, row 35, Justin Kerr, Zachary Phillips, John Salsa, Brian Basco, and New York David Napo. Row 36, Alan Tuttle, Jeremy Gouchard, Aaron Hendershot, Bet B 30 plus. Row 37, Bet B, Lyle Morrison, Brad Kearns, and Nathan Pierce. Row 38, Bet B, Adam Sadlon, Howard Harton, and William Craig. Row 39, Junior B 22 plus class, Charlie Rogers, Travis Matthews, Chasen Bush, Grant Pick, and Dale Nunley. Row 40, Mike Percy and Mike Isaacson. And Wes Spinks, Austin Abney, and Eli Kiger taking off on your last row there, folks, and that is it. That will do it for the start. Finally underway here at Snowshoe as we celebrate the 11th annual running of the AMSOIL Snowshoe GNCC. How's it all going to pan out with all the trash talk before the race? Who's going to come out on top? Stick around and find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of dirt bike lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Here he is, Walker Fowler, Brand National Cross Country XC1 Pro Class Champion. Welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynes along with Kevin Trantham and here in a moment, Rodney Tomlin. So we're off and rolling for round number 8 here at the Snowshoe GNCC. So getting a look at, wow, they come out in hordes here in West Virginia. This guy lifts. Do you lift, bro? I think that guy lifts. My goodness. Look at this guy. His guns are a little bigger than mine, I'd say. He's earned that right to wear that shirt. So here in beautiful Snowshoe, West Virginia, I'm joined by Kevin Trantham. Kevin, well, man, you won your first race of the season this morning, and how was that?
It's great to get back in the center of the podium. You know, it's been a while. I think Georgia last year was the last win I'd gotten, so it definitely felt good to be back up there. You know, I felt like I had the speed and could do it, just needed some good luck on my side, you know, and hey, it worked out for me today, so I'm glad of that.
Yeah, it did. It's good to see you up here, and I don't know if you knew you were coming to join us or not, but I told you on the podium, hey, you're going to be in the booth with us. You're like, well, I guess so. So maybe we'll just have to see, make center a box every week or every round and maybe do it all over. So, man, talk about this track a little bit. Historic Snowshoe. I mean, what's to expect out there for these guys today?
you know, they can pretty much expect about anything. I mean, most of these guys have raced here before, you know, and it's a very challenging track, you know, not only the track itself, but as the race goes on, you know, bottlenecks develop, you know, and you got to be smart and choose good lines, you know, to be able to get through those cleanly and stuff. So, you know, we had a good race this morning. You know, there was a lot of riders, a lot of different things that we encountered. I mean, rocks, mud, you name it, it's there, you know, and stuff, just typical snowshoe conditions. But hey, it was great. You know, we had a GNCC done a real good job laying out a course for us, and we appreciate all they do. And you know, I'm really excited about the 1 o'clock race, the evening race here, and to see how things go with that. You know, I'm sure it's going to be a good race, no doubt. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and oh yeah. So speaking of these rounds, we actually have some highlights from the previous round here, round number 7 there in New York. So I think we're going to toss that and take a look at the highlights and see where we're at coming into this weekend. All right, so here we got our pros right out of the gate, and it was Landon Wolf with the early lead. Landon Wolf captured the whole shot. No, scratch it. It was Chris BORICH. That's right. There was the big debate about it. So Chris BORICH got the whole shot. As a matter of fact, when he was on the podium, he said, I got it. I did. So, yeah, it was that close between him and the other riders there. So getting a good look. I believe, is that Adam McGill's was that his GoPro there? So now we get a look at the guys coming through the Rocky Mountain ATV section right there. There's Walker Fowler, was running about back in 3rd, I believe. And there's Walker right there coming through. Maybe he had a scratch on the back, what that was. But Adam McGill was running 2nd in that one. As we take a look, it was a picturesque track out there. I mean, you had some more insight on New York than what I would have. Oh, now that's racing right there.
Yeah.
So there's Adam McGill. I think he's working around BRYCEN NEAL right there.
Yeah, that's some good action for sure. You know, these GoPros, unfortunately, there's a little mud on it, but you can still see
but
them.
Boy, the idea is there. That is as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
So that was, I believe, Chris BORICH out in front right there.
Yeah, there's McGill and then Fowler.
So these guys just battled it out all race long. At the end of the day, we see McGill right there running in 2nd and Chris BORICH right there in 3rd. At the end of the day, it was Walker Fowler taking his spot back at the center of the box. So he won that one after Johnny Gallagher won in round 6. We get the fist pump in the air. And BRYCEN NEAL, probably one of the biggest stories of the day. He fell back quite a ways, but the guy finished the race on 3 wheels. He was hanging off the side of the thing and came through that finish. There it is right here. I mean, that is as just dedication and heart. And I mean, he got a little bit of help, but man, that's just incredible. What a sight. Have you ever had to do anything like that, Kevin?
Yeah, sure. You know, and I always have the attitude of never give up.
Yeah.
You know. Never give up.
It's absolutely true. So there are your highlights coming out of New York a couple weeks ago. Beautiful facility. We got another beautiful facility out here in Snowshoe, West Virginia. And classic Blackwater 100 style start with the live engine start. And what, 3 or 4 ATVs in a row?
I think we had 5. You know, I know every row doesn't have 5, but I think 5 is the maximum number on each row. And it's, you know, it's a totally different start than our typical GNCC, you know, with a dead engine start. Here we get to start with a live engine, and which I actually like that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. So it's a lot of fun. You know, we get to come down a paved road, you know, and Snowshoe's just a one-of-a-kind race.
It is.
You know, and we get to do things here that we don't get to do at any other tracks and stuff. So it's always a fun time to come, and yeah, the views, the place. I mean, you know, it's just I don't know how to describe it. You know,
it's difficult to describe. I mean, we had a second ago, they were kind of viewing the mountains there, and it's beautiful on screen, but I'm telling you, in person, it's something else. It's honestly, it's breathtaking, and you wouldn't know it by looking at it right now, but this morning when we got up, we were up here, And this is my first time here, and I thought what some of the pro guys were talking about, I thought, man, it's raining. What is this? And it's like, no, it's not rain. We're in the clouds. So, I mean, we're that high up. We're a little closer to heaven out here in West Virginia in the mountain.
Yes, that's for sure, you know. And one thing I've learned at being up here several years, you know, if you don't like what the weather is right now, just wait a few minutes.
Yeah.
It'll change for sure.
That's been very true. I was started out with a jacket and gloves and all sorts of stuff this morning. Now I'm down to a t-shirt and a polo, so we're ready to roll. There's a good look at just some of the scenery we've got out here in West Virginia, and I'm telling you what, as beautiful as that is right there, that could be a screensaver on a computer, and just in person, it's even more breathtaking.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
So coming up here in a moment, we'll try to get you some updates and see where our riders are at out there. Haven't gotten a camera shot of those guys yet, but as soon as we do, we'll get you posted. I think the big story out of this one, well, big story almost every round is talking about Walker Fowler and Adam McGill, but there's just something a little extra about being here on McGill Mountain in West Virginia. Just a little bit more trash talk, and I know that it's fun and it's play, but at the same time, you know those guys are here to get a job done.
Oh, no doubt. You know, I've heard the trash talk too leading up to this. You know, coming up Interstate 77, there's one of the tunnels, you know, Big Walker Tunnel, and you know, and Walker sent something out to McGill saying, well, I've got one mountain named after him now, ready for two, you know, so, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I like McGill's reaction to that is if he wins again this year, because I-77's a toll road, he's putting a toll at the bottom of the hill for Walker and anybody that rides a Yamaha to get up next year. I think that's pretty neat. Good trash, and it's good friendly stuff. It gets these guys fired up, man. And
for sure.
It goes to show you how much excitement there is leading into this event. I mean, and Kevin, knowing this morning how long it took just to clear the track,
there's just really not a whole lot going on.
It's amazing. I mean, honestly, how tough the track really became so quick. I mean, it seemed very easily manageable, I think. I would say probably that first time around, maybe a few obstacles, but man, coming around on the second lap, it had to be a whole different ball game for you this morning.
Yeah, it was. You know, there was a few places on our first lap. Of course, we were the first ones to get to go around the track. So, you know, and we were spinning and having, you know, I wouldn't say a difficult time, but I knew when we came around the second lap that it was going to be bad because of the two-wheel drive guys, you know. I mean, if we're having a little bit of trouble, you can imagine, you know, what it's like for them. So, yeah, after the first lap, you know, the track changed a lot after that, you know, and the bottlenecks, and you just had to be smart and pick good lines, you know, and one of the hard things it is for us as racers is to have patience. You know, but I tell you, a track like Snowshoe, patience is a good thing.
It's something you learn whether you want to or not sometimes too, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes you learn it the hard way, you know, we've all been there.
You've had some good luck here. You've had some tough times here before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I remember I buried, you know, about 3 or 4 years ago, I lost four-wheel drive, and it was on the last lap, and we were trying to work our way to Howard's Hole. Hadn't made it to that point yet, but we were close. And to come in, you know, big bottleneck and just people stuck everywhere. And I sit there, you know, trying to find a good line because I knew I just had two-wheel drive, but unfortunately I didn't pick a good line, you know. And I mean, I buried that thing. And when you bury one of those 900-pound four-wheelers, you know, you're stuck. You know, several of the spectators come by, and we tried 2 or 3 times, and actually we finally got it unstuck, you know, and I was able to finish the race, but I was probably 20 or 30 minutes down.
Now, it is events like this, you know, we deem this, and some years it's tougher than others. Obviously, is this year a tougher year? I mean, what was that reason that we had the long break between the 10 o'clock race and the scheduled 1 o'clock race today?
Well, you know, for me, I didn't think it was more tougher race or harder race than in the years past. There were just a few sections out there that were really tough to negotiate. You know, there's a lot of mud. We've had a lot of rain leading up to the race, and even if you don't have rain, you know, it's still a very muddy and wet race here, and that just adds to it, of course. So, and the rocks. I mean, it's just, if you've never been to Snowshoe and never been out on the course, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, I've seen tree roots that get 3 feet out of the ground.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
they get dug up that
That's
much
crazy.
and stuff. So it's, and you know, you say that a lot of people, they look at you kind of funny, you know, but I've got to experience it. So, you know, I know the last lap around there were tons of people stuck and broke down and stuff. So it, yeah.
Now, is it races like this, tracks like this that hold some of the more vivid memories for you? You think?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, I've always enjoyed coming here. You know, it's always been a good challenging course, and you know, having the 4-wheel drive is definitely an advantage. You know, but just being out racing with the other guys and you know, the way we take all 5 to a row and different things like that, there's just stuff that we don't get to experience at any other, you know, so it's always good, you know, and the guys that we race with, it's in our class, you know, some of the best guys out there, you know, and we always try to race each other fair and clean, and you know, and it's always a fun time at each venue, but some of them's more special than others, for sure.
Yeah, I know. The challenging ones, man. I mean, you got to overcome a lot, not only, you know, physically, but mentally out there. I mean, it's as much a mental challenge, I think, as it is physical, is it not?
It really is, you know, and I find that the mental thing wears me out much worse than the physical part of it, you know, especially where we have maybe a shorter course with a bunch of riders, you know, and we're just constantly catching, you know, lap riders and worrying about trying to get through those cleanly and get around them and stuff. And the mental part of it there, to me, is a lot harder on me than the actual physical part, you know.
I think that was one of the things we saw this morning. I know Kevin mentioned it on the podium there at the last lap. He said he felt like you guys got up in the pack, and right there last lap, he's like, man, it felt like there were, I don't know if it was you said it or maybe it was Kevin, but it felt like there were 60 riders that you guys had to get through and get around.
Yeah, we did. We
right, yeah, we were both Kevin.
Yeah.
Cunningham. There we go.
Yeah, we encountered a large bottleneck. You know, there were, you know, here's the main line in the middle, and there's quads cluttered in the main line, below, above, you know, they're just everywhere, you know, and a lot of these places here, there's just nowhere to go, you know, either, you know, it's so rough, the trees are so tight, whatever the, you know, situation might be, but Cunningham was in the lead at that point, you know, and I just was patient, you know, we both were, you know, we couldn't do really that much, so, but we did see a line, you know, and Cunningham took it, and I followed him, and it worked out for us, you know, we just made our way through it, you know, but sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, you know, it's just
it's easier to follow someone in a situation like that than it is to lead in that situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, if you look back on it, how many of these Snowshoe GNCCs have you actually ran, Kevin?
I think I've ran every one of them except for 2008.
And if you look back on it right now, what would you say would be the most memorable one for you?
Well, that's a tough one. You know, today was pretty sweet.
Right.
I tell you, you know, it's been well over a year, you know, since I took a win.
Right.
So, you know, to get a win here today was, it's definitely one that's at the top of my list for sure. I've had some good races here, you know, I've thought back since I've been on the Polaris. This is my 3rd year switching over to the Polaris, and I've had really good success here. I won the first year on the Polaris here 2 years ago, and then I got second last year, and then won again today. So, you know, all in all, I can't complain. You know, it's been good.
I have to think, because I know you always do well at Steel Creek. Also, it's got some mountainous terrain, and you're from North Carolina, so you're kind of accustomed to training and riding and stuff like this, I guess, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. In the mountains for sure. You know, these mountains here are special.
now, explain to me the difference between a mountain here in West Virginia and a mountain in North Carolina, say.
Well, you know, it all depends exactly where you're at in both places, West Virginia or North Carolina, but typically this particular snowshoe has a lot more rocks and that type of terrain. I mean, not that North Carolina doesn't have it, but like, say, for instance, Steel Creek, it's very mountainous. You know, we go up and down a lot. But as far as like rocks and stuff like that, we don't encounter anything like that like we do here.
Right.
I mean, it's, you know, there's tons of rocks and different, you know.
A lot of obstacles pop up then, huh?
Yeah, you know, and you walk the track. We always try to walk the track just to, you know, get any advantage that we can. And, you know, as you're walking the track, you're thinking, man, this looks good. And it does, you know, but it's amazing how much the track changes over the course of the race, you know. And
I like to try to pre-ride as many of the courses they're used to anyway. In particular, I always enjoyed pre-riding the Steel Creek GNCC. It was like a roller coaster on like a Thursday or Friday, man. Just smooth trail every way around. And then I would always go out and I would ride it on Sunday evening or Monday just to see what the changes were. It blows me away, man. I mean, how much different 2 days of racing. What a difference 2 days of racing. I know, you know, the ATVs, and I've checked it out after an ATV race and then gone out after a bike race to see how much more and it just blows me away. I mean, just how much the track changes and the obstacles that do arise, because what seemed like an easy track on Friday was nothing like that, say 10:30, 10:45 on Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. That's very true, you know. And another thing that I think changes a lot too is the UTV races.
Yeah.
When, you know, and I get to race the UTV as well, and I guess just the heavier machines and stuff. It is unreal, some of the ruts and stuff that develop, you know, and we only run those for an hour. I could imagine if we went for 2 hours, you know, it would just be, it'd be something else for sure. But yeah, it's amazing how much the track can change in just a short time.
Yeah, it really is, and how much it can honestly change in the course of 2 days of racing can honestly blow your mind too. And you know what always intrigues me is how great a job that the track crew does in coming back and restoring that and you know, reclaiming that and getting it back. You know, like I say, you know, we go in, it looks like a bomb went off at Steel Creek. You go back the next year, it's like nice smooth trails. You're like riding a roller coaster again.
Yeah, and hats off to GNCC for doing that, you know, and like you say, you know, we know what the course is like when we leave. So when we come back the next year, it's almost like we've never been there, you know, which is really nice. But, you know, I've done a lot of local series that maybe they don't have the means to be able to do as much of the courses and stuff, and a lot of times it's in the same shape it was the last year.
That's got to be challenging
too,
for sure. But here we're looking at the FMF PowerPoint. For those of you folks that are following along on RacerTV.com, we certainly welcome you out here. And those of you that are listening on 89.3 here on the mountain, welcome you as well. But we are looking at, on our monitors, this is what they call the FMF PowerPoint. And, you know, and I got to say this, hill climbs on television are so deceiving as to what they really look like and what they really are. Looking at this, this looks like a little bank you're going to climb up there. But Kevin, you can tell me firsthand, that's a tough hill right there.
Very tough hill.
Just got an update. Sorry to interrupt there, but we got an update. Walker Fowler has a huge lead as he rolls into Howard's Hole right now. So we don't have any other reports of anyone else or who's in second right now. But Walker Fowler has got a monumental lead there at Howard's Hole. And wow, that can be good and that can be bad for Walker, because we've seen this before. If you remember, how many times I can remember Walker actually being out front. He's broken chains. He's broken this, you know, from pushing so hard. Seen the same thing out of Brian Wolf in the past. So this could be good news. It could not be so good news. And for those of you wondering about our shots down at Howard's Hole, I'm going to tell you right now, we have got a technical nightmare going on here on the mountain.
That's an understatement.
I woke up this morning. We had everything all dialed in. I got up. It was a nice leisurely morning. I had my coffee. I walked out of the hotel, got on my quads, drove down, and everything was down. I mean, literally, the wind had taken everything down. We had to rebuild basically the 3/4 of the sound system this morning, and try to get the races. And we still got the races started off at 8 o'clock this morning on time. And you know, that's one thing. But we've been working against that. The track crew's been working against. I mean, it's been a real struggle for us here at GNCC. So we do apologize. We had crystal clear. Everything was going good there till just a little bit ago. I don't know what happened, whether some fans maybe got into some equipment down there. Racer hit the cable during the 10 a.m. race. That explains a lot. And there's a fiber optic cable that Snowshoe had actually put down there, so we would have literal high definition video coming out of that far reach of, and that's a long, long way from where we are right now. So we were getting high definition video out of there through that fiber optic cable, but someone got into it, and I know that they're trying to rectify that right now. We do apologize, but I can tell you right now, I'm listening to some radio reports. Howard's Hole is as lively as it ever has been right now, as that seems to be the topic of discussion right now on the radio. Well, I'll tell you what, Walker Fowler leading this one today is really not much of a surprise if you look at the big picture. I mean, he's won so many races already this year, and coming into this one, you know, we had the rain showers, and you have to think, okay, rain showers, that might be the kryptonite for Walker Fowler. So, you know, you start thinking about it, and then all of a sudden, as you get set to go into Snowshoe Mountain, you start wondering, what is Walker Fowler's mindset? Not only about racing, but maybe trying to race in some mud. We did have a chance to catch up with him, talk about a few things leading into this weekend.
You know what? Last year was our first real taste of what a lot of water would do at this course, and actually I think it made it better. Obviously there's some low-lying areas that just filled up with water, so there would be 3-4 feet of standing water like a river crossing. But overall, a lot of the slicker, snotty ground, kind of muddy sections, throw a lot of water on it and get down to some good hard shell rock, and you know, that actually has more traction than that snotty mud. So I guess it just depends on how much we get and when we get it. You know, if we get it tonight and early in the morning and it starts to tack up, our race is going to be muddy and slick and heavy. If it rains throughout our race, we're going to be clean, just wet. You know, your boots are going to be full of mud, goggles are going to be useless, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it no matter what the weather does.
Well, he's champion for a reason, man. That kid right there certainly got it dialed in. He has it super dialed in. He just checked in at the finish line there just a few moments ago. A 30-minute, 44-second first lap time that he has going on right there. No one in sight, and I believe that he may have stalled it out going down just past the finish line. They're telling me as he went down the hill, so we're going to wait and see if that's the case. He must have got it refired up and going again, so it's not much of an issue or much of a big deal at this particular point. But Walker Fowler is in, and he is through, and he has got a monumental lead here at this 11th running of the Snowshoe GNCC. All right, we got a RacerTV rapid replay getting ready to come at you, and here's Walker Fowler as he came in. You can see how muddy he is, but look how clean the front of that bike is, because no one has actually spun mud on him. All that mud that he's got comes from his front tires himself.
That's right. That's right.
And here we are live as Chris BORICH checks in now. And let's make sure that is for the number 2 position, as the number 3 and winningest GNCC racer of all time makes his way around here. Actually, Brent Sturdivant is going to get credit there, the 149 for second place. Kevin Yoho now, and we're going to see this happen a lot. I don't know where Chris BORICH is going to fall into this right now with timing and scoring. And we do have some things, but we got a great backup system if we do have any issues in that. Was I wrong? Was that Chris BORICH? Was that the number?
No, he did come through,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
I did see the big 3
now,
on the front.
physically, that would be the case. Now, this is where the interesting scenario starts to shape up. So Walker's got a pretty monumental lead. It's going to be tough to beat Walker on adjusted time at this point. You're going to have to make up a lot of time and a lot of gap still just to get into that time frame of Walker Fowler at this particular point, I think. But at the same time, that has to make you think. I mean, you got guys like Yoho and Sturdivant coming through, Josh Merritt. Those guys started on like rows 4 and 5 and a little further back in there. So, man, things must be actually tightening up. Something must have happened after Walker Fowler went through out there, because he has pretty much nobody behind him and a free clear and racetrack ahead of him. But he's going to be faced with some obstacles coming up soon, I'd say.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, there's so much can happen, you know, out there. Like I say, you know, there's many obstacles that you encounter and, you know, and try to get through and stuff. But, you know, having a huge lead is great. But, you know, my theory, you know, the race is never over till it's over, you know, and there's so much that can happen, especially in a race like this.
Man, I don't know if you're watching. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt, but I'm watching the names go through. By the way, Chris BORICH checked in after time adjustments at 4th place. BRYCEN NEAL is 5th place after time adjustment. 6th place, the number 10, Josh Merritt out of Akron, Ohio. Brian Wolf is 7th place position. Landon Wolf is 8th aboard the number 7. Johnny Gallagher is 9th. And the man that claims to own this mountain, Adam McGill, is starting out lap number 1 in a 10th place position right now. Start doing the math. Wow, he's well over a minute behind Walker Fowler. Again, I'm telling you, it's going to be tough to beat Walker. Walker's going to have to, A, come into a bottleneck, find something technical out there that's going to stop him or slow him down, or a mechanical issue at this particular point. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but Walker is on fire, and he is, I think, untouchable at this particular point. So here comes the slicing and dicing and looking through the standings right now. You got Chris BORICH back in 4th place after time adjustments. How about Kevin Yoho? Yoho started about row 6, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look at that, but he was several rows back behind everyone else. And Kevin, a former XC1 avid racer, he went to some XC2s part-time there for the last couple of years, comes back this year racing some XC1 stuff. Man, how great is that to see Kevin Yoho? And there's an advantage. There's where we see the advantage of starting a few rows back coming into play, especially if they encountered some issues in some of those mud holes out there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, for one thing, I mean, he's got time adjustment on his side. I mean, he doesn't actually have to be in the physical lead to be in the lead,
right,
you know, because of the time adjustments. But, yeah, many times, you know, if you're back behind, you come up on whatever it might be, you know, maybe you see a line that where the other guys are all in there and jammed up and stuck, you know, maybe you're in a position to where you could just go right around them, you know, and I don't know, maybe that's happened. It's a good possibility for sure.
Yeah, and in conditions like this, it's highly likely as well. When you see guys like Adam McGill, who I think actually got the early lead. He had the inside line on Chris BORICH. Chris was on the outside, and Adam was on the inside coming into that first turn. They were kind of side by side, but it looked like that Adam may have had the advantage there. But when you look at this and you see him back there in, well, 11th place now after some time adjustments, as we've got a couple other riders checking in. J.D. Brown, XC2 Pro-Am racer, is now 7th place overall with time adjustments.
First
and again,
in class.
First in class. And what about Hunter Hart? What about Devin Feehan? They were both on row number 2. Here we go. What's going on out there? I tell you, I'm sure that this morning's race is carrying over into this afternoon's race as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, by looking at the results and stuff, you know, and I mean, we see some names here in the XC2. Brandon Eichert, you know, he's in 15th overall, I think 2nd in class.
Yeah.
You know, right, where's Hunter Hart and Devin, you know, who knows what they've encountered, you know. I mean, it's anyone's guess at this point,
We can only speculate right now, but we continue to watch. You know, but here's still the interesting point to ponder on this is it's lap number 1. We are maybe 40 minutes into this race, but we still got a few more laps to go, and there's a lot of things that can happen, especially here today. I mean, under dry, different conditions, you might say, unless a mechanical failure happens or something crazy. But there's so many other things that can happen out there that could spoil Walker's day, and it could be completely out of his control. He could come up to a bottleneck and not be able to go anywhere for minutes, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You know, yeah, we're sitting here, you know, they're checking in on the first lap. So, I mean, there's still a lot of racing left to do today, and anything can happen. I'm sure we'll see some of the guys, Adam McGill, you know, there's Johnny Gallagher, he's checked in 10th, you know, and I expect to see him on up closer toward the front, you know, and anything can happen for sure, and
that's one way to do it.
It's a war. It's a war of attrition. It's a war. It's a. I like that's how you get those gloves clean.
Yeah, they do make towels for that, but hey, if you don't have them, you know, you just use whatever's available.
Give that guy a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Maybe up on the shoulder though.
Yeah.
You might get your hands muddy if you do otherwise. That was pretty neat. But again, that's another obstacle the riders have got to face: mud on the hands here, right?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we use the gauntlets. Rock Speed FX is one of our sponsors, and they make a gauntlet. It's similar to the one that PowerMad makes, but a little bit different. But we run those, and man, those things work really, really, really well, you know. But even with those today in the conditions, you know, my hands were still getting some mud and stuff on them. It's just so extreme out there with all the mud and the water.
So
and
you're
stuff.
telling me lives up to its claim as America's new toughest race today, you think?
Yes, far as I think so, no doubt. Yeah, it's the toughest.
I'm sure you could be harder, and I'm sure that there's certain things, but overall, when you look at the big picture, man, there's a lot over the course of 17 miles you had to face today.
Yeah, for sure. It's as far as GNCC racing goes, out of the 13 rounds that we do, Snowshoe's by far the most challenging course that we have.
Love it, man, and that's why I like coming here, and I like watching the leaderboard right now. Is we got a 5-mile shot on the west side. That was the east side of the mountain that we just watched. I think that's the 12-mile section of the race course, and we got 5 miles on the west side. That gives us about a 17-mile race course. So this next lap, it'll come through, it'll say lap 2 complete, but in my reality, that's 1 lap complete, one full lap complete.
Yes.
It'll say 2 laps, but it's 1 full lap with on each side of the mountain after 2. So we're working still on that full lap complete. Walker's got that east side of the mountain dialed in, there's no doubt, but how much further is he going to be ahead? And then when he dives into the east side of the mountain again, that's when he's going to start running into the traffic. So he very well could maybe even double his lead. Here comes Walker Fowler. Now look at him going.
Solo.
Wow. The kid is, I mean, he is so on the pipe right now and heading up through the FMF PowerPoint right now. He looks like he is not even struggling.
No. You know, and one of the big key factors in the race today is momentum. You know, you need to keep your momentum, just like this FMF PowerPoint. You know, if you come up on that and just try to ease up there, you're not going to make it, you know, and you got to keep the momentum going. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's hard to do that when you encounter the bottlenecks and stuff. But right now, Adam is just, I'm sorry, Walker is pretty much checked out on everybody.
Pretty much. There is
nobody inside.
No one in sight. Wow, that's impressive. That's down below my hotel. I look down that power line, and that is Monster Hill. When you look at the top of it, mountain, I should say, not hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at that. I mean, we've been watching for better than 30 seconds. This says on time adjustments, 49.7 seconds. So with Yoho being several seconds, that could be better than a minute or more that he's got a lead on the physical second place rider, which would be Chris BORICH, I believe. And here we are in the pits, the pro pits over here. Walker Fowler stopping for a goggle change, getting a quick splash of gas.
If he wants, he can have a couple beers. I mean, this is Snowshoe. He's got the time for it. There we go.
So here we come, some minute and 20 seconds or so behind.
Is that BRYCEN NEAL?
That very well looks like a number 5. It sure does. Coastal Racing's BRYCEN NEAL into the number 2 position, and that.
Maybe Kevin Yoho, but I'm not positive. I tell you, it's going to be tough to tell them today with all the mud. You know, everybody's brown today. I think that's Chris BORICH.
Yeah, that's Chris BORICH. I'd put him 4th physically on the racetrack right now. So we've had a lot of changes physically as well as on time adjustments today.
Yeah, for sure.
That's got to feel good for BRYCEN NEAL after round 7, finishing with 3 tires, and then coming out here. And I mean, obviously it's still early, but that's got to be a good feeling to be up there in second. A big distance though if he's going to catch up with Walker.
Well, we say still early at this particular point, but whenever you look at the big picture here, let's see, we're 31 minutes and 35, 36. I think we're 40 minutes already into this race right now, plus. So we're nearing the halfway point. BRYCEN NEAL into the pit. C2 is going to take a splash of gas, but there goes.
Is that Yoho?
I think it's Yoho, but I'm not positive. But
well, that was. We'll know more when we get him.
BORICH. He's getting fuel and goggles.
I'm trying. That could have been Brent Sturdivant too, guys.
Could have been.
Brent. Now, I want to talk about Brent Sturdivant for just a moment. He rides the 149. He's not out at every GNCC race anymore, but he still shows up to.
Now, there's yeah, I was thinking he was on a Honda, and that was a Yamaha that we were looking at. So.
But still, I mean, on time adjustments, Brent is what, 5th place physically on the track, 6th place physically, and he's 3rd place on time adjustments right now. He's a West Virginia boy, and like we say, he's a guy that he's been an on again, off again GNCC racer for a lot of time, and he's one of those guys that he's the unknown variable. He's like a Brian Wolf, and though he's never literally done it yet, taking a big win, Brent Sturdivant is one of those riders that is more than capable to surprise you and do just that, just on sheer talent and desire, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. You know, going back to Brent, I might be mistaken, but it seems like I remember him getting a win at Yadkin Valley one year.
He may have.
It's
He
been
very-
a few years
you
ago
know
for
what?
sure,
I
but
think that
I
you
think,
know,
know,
yes, I'm going to go back and look at the results.
I
But
think he got a win there, his first win.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
yeah, so it's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember that, man. I can't remember everything, but you know, that's awesome. And Brent, like I say, I mean, it's unfortunate that he doesn't get to come out. He doesn't get the training in that he wants to do to be at the level that Walker and those guys are. But you have to wonder, had he been given the opportunity, where would he actually be right now?
Exactly. You know, and just like you say, I wonder how that will play in as the race goes on. You know, the training level and stuff. I mean,
Right.
you know, it's still early in the race, but
adrenaline only lasts so long, right?
Exactly. You know, and we know that Walker Fowler and Chris BORICH and Adam McGill and all those guys are in top physical condition, you know, and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how those play out.
So right there, we got more turning.
Brian Wolf.
Brian Wolf is through the pits. Again, Wolf is checked in at 8th place overall time adjustment.
Is that Jared McClure? Yep, number 4 getting.
Cobra having a rough day today. 12th place position. That puts him in 11th place in class right now. Just to point out, we got a Bet A rider, A.J. Kuntz, 28 plus Bet A class rider. He's 16th overall right now after time adjustments. John Glotta Jr. is 19th overall, second in that, that's changed up on me. Hendershot, I guess, in 20th overall. John Glotta is college age 16 to 21-year-old class leader. He's 19th overall. So it's some pretty cool stuff going on right there. And
Adam McGill is fired up.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Threw the goggles off screaming.
Man, I got to wonder what's going on over there right now.
Definitely something's happened for sure. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you got a guy that's on the front row. He drops back physically 10th overall. There's something big that happened out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
and you know, at this point, he's probably even further back than that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's been several guys went through and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
you're right. You're absolutely right. You got to wonder, is it a mechanical issue? And if it were a mechanical issue, would he have stopped and tried to do something about it? Walker Fowler, by the way, has completed the west side of the mountain. He did the west side in 15 minutes, 11 seconds. So we're 46 minutes into this race now. And we're waiting on the physical second place, and then we'll start doing time adjustments into that in just a few moments. We got Mikey Waynes on the go right now, heading over to the pro pits, going to get some interviews with some folks, going to try to find out what's going on with Adam McGill and try to get the stage set for the rest of today's Snowshoe GNCC.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see after everyone checks in for the second lap to see how the positions change up, the overalls.
49 seconds, I think, almost 50 seconds basically is what we have between the first and second place position holder after time adjustments out there. I have to venture to think that, yes, it has gone over a minute. We're now at a minute and 14 seconds. But BRYCEN NEAL
checking in second. So good for BRYCEN. You know,
but
that's,
Kevin Yoho, that was Yoho behind BRYCEN NEAL. Yoho starting a little further back. He's 10 seconds off the pace right now of Walker Fowler on time adjustments, if I'm reading this correctly. And, well, maybe 10 seconds off the pace of BRYCEN NEAL. But regardless, Walker's got a huge physical lead. And I think, if I'm calculating it right, probably has a huge and monumental time-adjusted lead. But I will tell you this, Kevin Yoho just burned in a 14:52, almost 20 seconds faster than Walker Fowler. So maybe that is, closer to 10 seconds.
Another thing, too, I don't think Yoho pitted, you know, so he gained some time there in the pits, you know, by not pitting. You know, that can be good and bad.
Right.
You know, that can hurt you a little later on, you know, so we'll see how that plays out.
It takes a lot of energy for the physical human to ride their ATV out here. It takes a lot of fuel for the ATV to perform out here. So we'll see. Maybe he's got it figured out.
Now we see Brent Sturdivant has checked in third overall as well. So
okay, here's the way it is. On time adjustments right now, Kevin Yoho is 31.4 seconds behind Walker Fowler. Brent Sturdivant is another 37.9 seconds back in the third place position overall after time adjustments. When you're looking at gaps like that, what's that say about the gap, the physical gaps out there? I mean, the guys that started on the first row, I mean, those gaps are huge. Chris BORICH came through last time. It said 27 seconds behind that fourth place ride. But here's something interesting as well. As far up as we saw BRYCEN NEAL, he's dropped all the way back to fourth place overall after time adjustments.
Yeah, he's physically second on the track, but, you know, Kevin Yoho and Brent Sturdivant, they took off in rows behind, so with the time adjustment, you know, they're right there close to him, so they are actually physically ahead, not physically ahead, but on time adjustment, you know, they end up being ahead of.
Yeah, they could win it. They could end up winning this 31.5 seconds if Kevin Yoho has another 20-second faster lap a couple of times. If he can stay steady with them on the east side of the mountain, have another 20-second faster lap, then all of a sudden we might be looking at a totally different scenario, especially if Walker slows down any at this point. And that's a thing to take into consideration now, because he has turned it and burned it so much and so fast in this first full lap of racing to try to stretch things out there. You almost have to think he's thinking, okay, I got a big lead. I'm just going to lay back a little bit and rest and maybe, you know, pick my lines a little bit better. And if that could come back to bite him, especially if Yoho continues at this pace.
Yeah, for sure, you know, and, you know, no doubt Walker's raced here many times, and he knows what it takes to win. You know, he's got some wins here under his belt and stuff. So, you know, as from a racer's view of it, I don't really see him backing off, you know, just because he knows that you're going to encounter bottlenecks every lap, you know, and depending on how you get through those bottlenecks, you know, I mean, it can change the, you can be in first place 1 minute and all the way back in 5th or 10th or whatever, you know.
And it doesn't take much either. I mean, especially in this situation. I mean, physically, it doesn't take much, but man, I mean, on time adjustment, it takes even less. And the crazy thing about that is you can lose 10 positions and never know you lost them.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've done that.
That's got to be done. We've got Mikey Wayne's down in the pro pits. What's going on, Mikey?
Hey, Rodney, you got an update for you. So talk to Adam McGill's pit crew. Sounds like he came in, he was frustrated, which we saw on the camera. He said he wadded it up somewhere out there, and he said, I'm hurting, but I'm going back out there. So that's your update for Adam McGill.
That's a heartbreaker for the McGill fans. There's no doubt about it. I'm hurting, but I'm still going. And that goes to show you the true heart of that rider and how bad he wants this today.
Yeah, for sure, you know, and like I said earlier, you know, most of the guys out here racing have the never give up attitude, and that's what it takes, you know, to be a champion, you know. But, you know, one of the Graham Whitcomb, one of the guys on our team from England, he had a crash this morning, and we're not sure if he's got some broke ribs or bruised ribs, but, you know, he was able, with encouragement from the pit crew and everything, you know, to go back out and took his first win today.
Oh, no kidding.
So, hey, that's a great example of never give up attitude, you know. I mean, you just never know. I mean, even though maybe you're having a bad day, you don't know who else is having a bad day as well, you know.
Exactly, and it could all turn around in a heartbeat out there. And I think Adam McGill knows that as well as anyone. And coming into this weekend, you know, he had his sights set high on another win, his 5th win here at Snowshoe Mountain. That is starting to fade away a little bit, but at the same time, the possibility is still there. And I know coming into this weekend, he was pretty stoked about it. We caught up with him.
No pressure. It's definitely a racetrack that can be, you know, won and lost on the first lap. I believe that 100%. I mean, we've come from the back and won here, and we've actually led the whole thing before. So it's definitely got its own aura. It's got its own presence here. And, you know, a tip to everybody that comes here and races this, definitely get out of the way of the MM521 machine. But, no, you just got to get through your first lap clean. You get through your first lap clean, mistake-free, normally the rest of your day will go pretty easy. So, you know, it is the mountain that McGill built, they call. So we'll see if we can't make it the drive for 5 starting tomorrow about 1.
He's a rather colorful rider, there's no doubt about it, and very energetic. And I'll tell you, he's a fan favorite, there's no doubt. There are a lot of the West Virginia natives out here today in Adam McGill's corner. So that's another advantage to the 521 today.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we know he's having a bad day. He's had some issues and maybe a wreck. You know, I'm not sure exactly what all happened, but you know, when you got all these people out here along the course, you know, just cheering you on and giving you encouragement, you know, it goes a long ways for the racer. You know, it helps to motivate you and push you.
I'm sure if you're coming in and you're on your last leg, man. I mean, you've used about everything that you've got to use, and then you come up on say Howard's Hole, and you've got a crowd there that is just cheering for you guys coming through. And this, I mean, that energy somehow or another can translate into you, and you can feel it and take it with you. What's going on here?
Well, I'm not sure if maybe his hands are getting numb or something, you know, and maybe he's trying to get some circulation back, or
white knuckle grip on that first couple of laps.
Maybe he thought, well, maybe I'll dry my gloves off, you know, coming up this road, you know.
He might have been waving to the RacerTV.com fans also. Not real sure who it was, but could have been waving. So let's take a look at time adjustments now as Walker Fowler continues to lead, as we told you, at 31.4 seconds over Kevin Yoho. Brent Sturdivant, 37.9 back at third. Brycen NEAL, 4.8 seconds back in the number 4 position. That's how close he is to a top 3 position right now. Brian Wolf.
That's what I was just looking at.
Oh,
BF overall.
Man, Wolf fans, Brian Wolfie fans have got to be stoked now. 1.8 seconds behind Brycen NEAL. That was Wolfie we saw on adjusted time.
Right.
We saw him going through there a little bit ago. Dude is on fire. There's no doubt. Landon Wolf, a good ride for him today. He's up to 6 right now. Cody Collier, how about this kid right here? Now, Cody, you know, he was a great youth racer. He went into the 10 o'clock race as a schoolboy racer. Actually won the overall for the season and got the 201 number. I think that's so cool that he continues to wear that number up into his XC1 ranks, man.
Yeah, for sure. I remember Cody. You know, we've had some good battles together. You know, and
yeah, that's right.
And
you raced him whenever he was on a little machine. You were on a 4x4.
Yep, for sure. You know, it amazes me, these schoolboy racers. You know how they can go so fast. You know, I think they're 250 dirt bike motors in a 450 chassis or something like that, but it's amazing, you know, that they can get around the course as fast as they do.
And it paved the way for Collier. He's up to 7th place right now. There is J.D. Brown, so there was no confusion in that. Valley Head, West Virginia. That could make some sense as well for J.D. Brown as he leads the XC2 Pro-Am class right now. He is 9th overall after time adjustments. Looking back behind him, Jared McClure is posting up 10th place overall at the moment. Then we see Marty Christopherson, 11th. Adam McGill is now 12th overall after time adjustments. Brandon Eichert, who is 2nd place in the XC2 Pro-Am from Hickory, North Carolina.
Yeah,
another mountainous boy there.
Yeah, I know Brandon. You know, we raced some of the Mid-East races together, and he's a good kid, you know, and it's good to see him up there today. I hope he can keep the momentum up, and it'd sure be good to see him get up on the podium for sure. I know it'd do him good as well.
Oh, I'm sure he would just be elated. College A 16 to 21-year-old class leader John Glotta is in 15th place position. A.J. Kuntz, 16th, leading the Vet A 28 plus class. Ooh, get this, 26 seconds now behind him. The 8:06 of Dustin Hendershot on the move, turning about a 10-second faster lap that time around. So that could end up being a fairly interesting race for the Vet A 28 plus class. And then Kenny Schick is 3rd in the XC2 Pro-Am class as he's 18th. Gabe Nod is out of California here with us on the 252. He's 19th overall, 4th in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Braden Henthorn, welcoming back that rider as well. He rounds out the top 5 in XC2 Pro-Am on the 934. He is 20th place overall. My friends, you wonder what's going to happen. Can Walker Fowler hang on to this? Will Kevin Yoho pull out what some may deem impossible at this point to beat Walker Fowler that far out? And how about Brent Sturdivant? Can the West Virginia race fans maybe loft him up a spot or two? Can these guys hang on to it, or will Brycen NEAL, Chris BORICH, and the boys find their way back to the podium? Stick around. GNCC Live continues, and we got a lot to stick around for.
GNCC is Bald Eagle, 50 cal, cowboy boots, diesel trucks, Copenhagen, Bush Light kind of men.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best? The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
For those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
I'm Barry Hawk, 8-time GNCC champion, current Coastal Racing team manager. Coastal Racing depends on Evans coolant because there is a lot of variables in GNCC racing. Toughest, most demanding sports there is. From my experience, without a doubt, Evans is the way to go. We have it in all of our race bikes, our race ATVs, our UTVs. It is for sure, without a doubt, a must on our race team. The pros use Evans coolant, and so should you.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes and, of course, Kevin Trantham from this morning's 4x4 Pro Class. Congratulations on another win here on Snowshoe Mountain, by the way, Kevin. And, man, thanks for stepping into the booth with us today. It's going to be pretty, it's neat to get your perspective on the race day, man.
Yeah, thanks for the win. You know, like I say, it's great. And great to be such a part of such a great team, you know, Team UXC Racing, Michael Swift, and he got to be with y'all in New York, you know, in the announcer's booth and stuff. But you know, it's been one of the best moves for my career, you know, to team up with Michael.
And I'm going to tell you, honestly, man, I wondered whenever you made nothing against Michael, but when you made the big change, you had a lot of things going on, doing well the way it was, to make a switch like that. I had to think, wow, what's going on here, man? What's he thinking? But obviously, he was right thinking.
Yeah, you know, I have no regrets. Looking back, you know, I have no regrets of the decisions that I've made and stuff. You know, it's like I say, it's been one of the best things for my career. You know, I've got to meet so many people from, you know, other countries. We always have people coming in racing with us, and you know, we get to travel and go places and see things, you know, and it's great. It's not just all about the racing. That's a big part of it, but all the fellowship and the friendship and things like that, you know, it's hard to put a price on that stuff for sure. But
You're absolutely right about that. I think that you know, the memories that are what keep you going, man. You like making those memories, and you live on those memories till you get a chance to do it again. I mean, that's how I guess gratifying being out here and doing what you love to do is.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I mean, I look back over the well, my first GNCC was 2002, so I've been at it a while.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we spent a ton of money and made numerous sacrifices over the year, you know, to continue to be able to race. But I tell you, if I could go back and do it all over, I wouldn't change a thing. You know, looking back at all the friendships we made, all the people we've met, places we've been, you know, it's been worth it all, no doubt. No doubt about that.
I gotta agree. I don't even get the chance to race, but I get to witness and live vicariously through you guys, man. And I know my adrenaline flows for you. I can't imagine what yours is feeling like. Walker Fowler continuing to lead here at Snowshoe as he has one complete lap in. He is now on the east side of the mountain. That was the mountain that took a little over 30 minutes, some 31 minutes for Walker to complete on the first go-round. He's out there right now and enjoying a, well, according to the way I've got to calculate, a 31-second time-adjusted lead over Kevin Yoho. Everyone on his line, everyone on row 2 and row 3, something happened there because the guys on like 5 and 6 really made up a lot of ground out there, and that's what we're seeing right now with Yoho and Sturdivant in the second, third place positions. BRYCEN NEAL seems to be the one that fared the best out of whatever took place there. Those guys, whenever they hit whatever problem it was they hit.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, and looking at the top 20 overall, one thing that comes to my mind is where is the top XC2 guys at? You know, I see none of the familiar names, you know, in the top 20.
Let's go back down, and that's a good point, man. I think as we are after this next lap, we'll do a midway report. But I do want to check in. I was thinking the same thing a few moments ago. Where are the typical riders we see out front? The Greg Coverts, Devin Behans, the Hunter Harts, and here we go. Let's find them. After 2 laps of racing in the Pro-Am class, this is the way we see it after time adjustments have been considered. J.D. Brown out of Ella Head, West Virginia, leading the XC2 Pro-Am class. Brandon Eichert is running in the number 2 spot out of Hickory, North Carolina. Kenny Schick, the 31, is 3rd place out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Gabe Nod, the 252 out of Repentry, California, I guess, is 4th place. And Braden Henthorn out of Marietta, Ohio, is 5th place. And already, probably, I mean, JD's kind of a familiar name. Brandon's kind of a familiar name. Not saying that we don't necessarily expect them to do well, but we didn't expect them to be leading here at Snowshoe. And I don't want to take anything away from them by no stretch of the imagination. And Kenny Schick, that's a rider we've been waiting on for so long. And this could be the time that these riders have been looking for, that opportunity to get that confidence level boosted. And regardless of whether it comes to Snowshoe, comes in the mud, or what, confidence is confidence, brothers. And let me tell you, J.D. Brown, Brandon Eichert, Kenny Schick have got to be getting a lot of it right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's, that's great motivation for the racer. The more confidence you get, not only in your machine, but in yourself, it takes them both, and as you gain confidence, then you see your racing career start to, reach higher levels and do,
You saw that, didn't you? You lived that.
Yeah, for sure. I've been there, for sure. It just didn't happen right off the bat. It took me many years, to be able to run up front, and I'm getting a little age on me and stuff. So, you kind of think about retirement a little bit in the back of your mind. And I've said to myself the last few years, as long as I can still be competitive, run up front, top 3 consistently, I'd love to continue to do it as long as I can.
You're around for a while, looks like.
And so we'll see, I don't know, but I definitely don't want to quit now, for sure.
Good, man, because I think we're just now getting to know you as good as we can possibly get. And I think there's a lot more to know about you, man, if you want to know the truth. I really believe that. But looking at this, as we said, there's Gabe Nod, a guy out of the West Coast, man. I mean, that's somebody that we're not familiar with. He comes here to Snowshoe, West Virginia. This has got to be one that's been on his bucket list for quite some time. And, man, look at that. He's 4th place right now in class. That's pretty impressive. Braden Henthorn welcoming him back. He's out of Marietta, Ohio in 5th. Then Devin Fehan, this is one of the riders that we kind of expected to see up front as much as anything because of placement on the start there. Fehan out of Windsor, New York with 2 laps complete. We got Greg Coverton in 7th place now out of Ithaca, New York. He has 2 laps complete. Devin Masters is your 8th place position out of Morgantown, West Virginia. Okay, here we go. 9th place with only the east side of the mountain complete right now is Millfield, Ohio's Levi Cohen. 10th place, Taylor Arnold out of Belpre, Ohio. 11th place, Wyatt Wilkin out of Hillsboro, Ohio. 12th place, 303, Matthew Lindo out of Muscatine, Iowa. And that's it. There is no Hunter Hart listed with 1 lap complete yet.
Yeah, and I hate to see that. I like Hunter. He was another kid that came up through the youth ranks and then the 10 o'clock race, and got to race with him and stuff. And I hate to not see his name on there. I'm hoping maybe there's something wrong with his transponder or something, but I tell you, at a race like this, you just got to kind of expect the unexpected. There's so much that can happen, you just never know.
Well, just scanning the results right now, looks like Johnny Gallagher having problems on the west side of the mountain as this rider was not this far back. He's 15th place in class now. He was 15th overall, but he wasn't that far back in class. He's dropped several spots now. So Johnny G looks like his chances of winning and buying everyone drinks at Foxfire tonight are out the window. I was hoping for a free drink tonight.
Who knows? Maybe he still want to buy a drink. Even though he...
Right, exactly. Yeah, we want to point out Chris Porch does have a bad transponder, so there could be others that have it as well. So hopefully, I kind of hope that's the case for Johnny.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate to see that, especially knowing how strong and great he felt coming into this event this year.
Yeah. It's thinking back a few weeks ago when Johnny got his first win there at the X Factor in Indiana. Wow, it's just it's great to see.
It was
awesome. Everyone was cheering him on. Of course we seen Fowler congratulate him. He's just as happy for him as Johnny was. But,
he was, but I think after he thought about it for a minute, he's like, wait a minute, man, there went my
just
perfect
went
streak.
Yeah.
He said, Walker's had a little bit of time to think about that. I wonder what his mindset on that one is now.
But it's definitely good. I mean, Johnny's he's been at this a long time. You know, been in the pro class for many years.
23 years. This is his 23rd season as an XC1 pro class.
To get his first win.
I think, I think 32 years might be the number that he's looking at as far as being how many years he's racing. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But wow, that's an impressive resume right there. I mean, he is the essence of GNCC.
Yes,
I mean, he most certainly is. He lives it. He has lived it his entire life, and he eats it. And you know, when you look at Johnny, you think, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a guy that you want to be like.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that follows their dreams, the passion that he has, and that he's able to deliver. And honestly, man, I mean, you never win in a championship, but still, probably, you know, one of the most popular riders on the circuit, whether it be in GNCC or any other realms of sports in an ATV racing industry. Most people know who Johnny Gallagher is.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and no doubt he has. He's probably one of the most passionate persons, you know, about this sport and stuff. I mean, he really enjoys it, no doubt. And I know he helps you all out in the booths a lot too, and I know that. No doubt that's a lot of fun for him as well. You know?
That was, as a matter of fact, the only race he's not done this year was X Factor. And I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, man, no, you earned it. Go celebrate, enjoy your Sunday. He said, well, actually, because they combined the races, he was helping out Becca Sheets the next day pitting. So otherwise, he'd probably been right here in the booth with us.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Johnny certainly, like we said, embodies what GNCC racing is all about. His father was a GNCC racer. He is a GNCC racer, and he lives it, breathes it. And I tell you, man, like I say, I just, he really inspires me. There's no doubt about that. He's, what, 38 years old, 39 years old?
So.
Crazy, man. It's still competitive in the pro class. Now, obviously, today he's having a little bit of struggle, but that goes, I think, along for anybody right now.
Yeah,
but. So we had a 15-minute lap, and they're telling us right now that we're 10 minutes late on the arrival of our leaders, and that's from the previous lap of 15 minutes, 11 seconds. So right now we're about 25 minutes into this lap, less than 10. I'm just going to say probably about 6-7 minutes. We should be seeing Walker Fowler check in at the finish line for his second half of the lap, or the first east side of the mountain, that's what the long part, and that'll be half of the second lap, and then he'll move over to the west side. I don't know, as far as timing and scoring goes, where that's going to put us. Right now, if we added 30 minutes onto the 45, that would put us at, 1:15, and then another 15 minutes on top of that would put us at 1:30. You know, we might have to go long here today.
Yeah.
I mean, it may work out where we have to go long and do the east side of the mountain, not the west side a third time. But basically 2.5 laps is what it would boil into. Now that can change. Lap times could speed up. They could slow down between now and the time that decision has to be made. But hey, man, the likelihood we're kind of hinging on that right now, where it could end up going a little bit long. And there's where the war of attrition really starts to play. You know, not only physically on the human body, but that's a lot more wear and tear on a machine.
Yeah, for sure. And no doubt the machines get much wear and tear on them today, you know, at this course. I know usually this is the last one that we do before the summer break, and I think there's a good reason for that because of the damage that we usually encounter and stuff. You know, it takes us a while to get them fixed back up, but anyway, I know it didn't work out this year, and you know, but I'm looking forward to John Penton, though. It's always a good race too. You know, we've been there a lot, several years, and plus we get to race the UTVs. You know, so I'm excited about that. Running, you know, this is my third year in the UTV, and running a different car this year, running the Polaris Razors, but I've been running the 1000S last couple years, and I've switched over to the XP 1000 this year, and I'm really liking the car, still getting it dialed in and getting adjusted to it, but man, I really like that, so I'm excited for John Penton.
I am too, and I mean, for those reasons, and that one is kind of a home race for me. That's close to my house. There'll be a lot of folks that I've known through my career, and also a lot of folks that I know personally around town that'll be out watching that one. And I like that one too. I hate the fact that it has to be in July, but at the same time, I think, and you bring up a point, you know, this traditionally is a race that, you know, you've got several months to recoup from. We've only got 2 weeks this time, so this could really change the face of things for some people a lot. When you think about it in the grand scheme of things, if they really destroy a lot of equipment this weekend or break something they don't realize they broke and it finishes breaking it could really change the face of things heading into the summer break there at John Penn.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I've really got to check my machine out good. I encountered some stuff out there this morning, you know, that did some damage. You know, I just don't know how extensive it is at this point. But
one of those 3-foot-tall tree roots.
Yeah, maybe a few of those ditches that had some nice rocks in them, you know, that you nosed into. And looks like we got Fowler coming.
Yeah, I see Mark Notman waving the finger of go, go, go.
I think we switched. There he is.
He switched right at the. But there's Walker coming in now. So that is lap 3 complete, or 1.5 if you like to score it like I do at this particular point. And Walker comes through 29:20, almost 2 minutes faster than what he was the last lap on that side of the mountain. And that's kind of a surprise to me. I expected 2-lap board just came out. So that means one over there and then one over there.
They're going to do another long one. That's.
Yeah, so
you know, that can be good for some of the riders that are, you know, further down in the standings. And hopefully, you know, for Walker's sake, it won't be a bad thing. You know, I mean, I hope he don't encounter, you know, a bad bottleneck or break something, you know, like that. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Right, and here we go, though. I mean, I was under the impression and thought that maybe that east side of the mountain would be a little more challenging on the second time through because of the other riders that may still be littering the course. But we just saw almost a 2-minute faster lap that time around.
I tell you, that's impressive too. You know, I mean, because I know I was out there racing the course this morning, and I know that the course is not in better shape now than it was when I was out there. So for Fowler to turn a 2-minute faster lap his second time on the east side here, that's pretty impressive.
And you know, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense too, because that first lap, especially here at Snowshoe, as fast as Walker was going, as big a gap as he had, as far as we don't know what happened that got that gap. I mean, they could have been nose to tail. He could have got through a mud hole. Somebody got stuck behind him, and that's where it all got congested. It might not be that he was just blowing everybody away, but Walker, you know, is utilizing that time, maybe on that first lap, just kind of picking and choosing his way through it, and started racing after the second lap. I've heard people say that. I just pick my way through the first lap, trying to figure out, and then I start racing on the second lap.
Yeah, and, you know, and that's a good thing to do here, you know, err on the side of caution a little bit on the first lap, or I try to, because, you know, a lot of these guys walk the track, we walk the track. I mean, you see things that you know that you want to be cautious on, but you don't always know how the bike's going to react to a lot of those things until you actually go through them or go across them and stuff. So, you know, I always try to be cautious. I mean, I know I got to go to work on Monday, you know, or at least I need to. So I see BRYCEN NEAL checking in here physically second. So we'll be interesting to see.
2 minutes and 20 seconds is what we've got him behind Walker Fowler right now. It'll be interesting to see how that's going to shape up once time adjustments and a few other riders have checked in, if that'll stay at 220 or not. But we'll be watching that.
Chris BORICH.
Kevin Yoho checked in.
He checked in right in front of BORICH there.
So, well, BORICH again will get his timing, his transponder isn't scoring, so they'll score him in. But Kevin Yoho still second. Kevin Yoho is still second right now, 18 seconds behind Walker Fowler, on time adjust. Well, is that time adjustments or 18 seconds? That must be 18 seconds right now behind. Looks like BRYCEN NEAL, I think, or Chris BORICH.
Yeah.
And it'll readjust here in a few moments, and we'll have the adjusted time in positions for these guys. So right now, what we're looking at and saying might sound a little bit crazy, and then it's going to change, and all that makes more sense. But anyway, right now it is on adjusted time. Fowler out front, Kevin Yoho in second. BRYCEN NEAL is third place so far, with Chris BORICH in the number 4 position. I still haven't seen Brett Sturdivant check in, and we have Chris BORICH, who has not been typed into the scoring yet. They're wanting to make sure they get the right time and put him in there. So it's a pretty scientific thing. Somehow or another, they get figured out where exactly they are on the track when they come through. So they're getting the right time so they don't misconstrue us and get us a little confused out here, and anybody else that's watching along at home on live timing and scoring as well. But Fowler, Yoho, NEAL, we've seen BORICH come through, and we've got more folks to come through here as well. But wow, another big gap is starting to open up.
Yeah.
And this coming off the east side of the mountain. Remember last time whenever they did this, they came through as a big bunch of riders at this particular point when Yoho's and all those guys came through, and even Chris BORICH and those, they were really close together, nip and tuck. Another big gap this time. We've only got 4 riders that have physically made their way through the finish line right now, with completing that second lap there on the east side of the mountain.
Yeah, that's like I said, I'm sure, no doubt the track's probably cluttered with riders, broke down, stuck, whatever, and a lot of times it, you come up on a lap rider, and depending on what part of the course that you catch that lap rider is, say Fowler may have caught the lap rider in this spot and he's able to get right around him, and someone else come up on one and you're not able to get around them as quick, so you get held up a little bit. I mean, there's just so much that can...
A lot of variables, isn't there?
Yeah, there's...
A lot of things can happen out there that change your timing and speed, and Kirk Sessions chasing that guy. What's your number? You're supposed to stop.
I'm not sure who that is. It looks like maybe one of our top front runners, but it's hard to tell.
It is actually Brody Livingood's who that was, I believe, or what may have been Brian Wolf, 341. Brian Wolf also just checked in, and actually, I believe that was Brian Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would put him in, that's our 5th guy to complete lap number 1. Brian Wolf up to the 5th place position, but 2 minutes, 34 seconds off pace right now. His lap time of 31:05. So it's going to take a miracle at this point to see Brian Wolf back in the center of the box, but miracles can happen. This is West by God, Virginia.
That's right.
So,
hey, look, I got in the center of the box, so we know miracles still
True. And I survived today after being faced with all the stuff that I was faced with today. So, yes, that's another miracle.
Yeah.
We have been truly blessed today. I mean,
there's no doubt.
I got up this morning and I said my prayers, and I walked out and I was like, God, I'm glad I asked for mercy today, because if I hadn't, imagine what I would have walked into. But it all came together. Thanks to Snowshoe staff here, GNCC staff, everybody pulling together to make things happen. Our technical issues are finally getting ironed out. Cody Collier is in. Brent Sturdivant is in 6th and 7th. Sturdivant is 6th now, dropping from 3rd place after time adjustments in the overall. 7th place is Cody Collier. He is now, I think, 33 seconds out of pace of, I believe, Brent Sturdivant ahead of him now. We expect to see coming in soon Landon Wolf, also J.D. Brown in the XC2 Pro-Am class. He should be checking in soon. So we'll see whether or not he's able to hang on to that lead. The West Virginia boy, first half of this race, man, is really seeming to be the man to beat today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm anxious to see how it all plays out, no doubt. But it makes it real exciting and interesting when you see names that you don't normally see up front, that's up there, so it's always good.
And it always makes me think about when Big Dave Coombs started the Blackwater 100, and this gave birth to the GNCC series, man. The great thing about it is when he came into this, he wanted as many people as possible to come and race this race, but he also wanted it an even playing field, meaning that anybody could win. And that's, and I think starting them in five-person rows and doing it the way that they did was a great way to kick off the GNCC series, the Blackwater 100. It was one-off back then and the only event of its kind, but it eventually gave birth to this GNCC series. And I think that was the idea that Big Dave had in it, that on any given day, any human being could rise to the level to be the best that day. And that's the kind of things that we are witnessing here at Snowshoe. And I think it's even better, and I think it's even cooler, and I think his dream even lives stronger when it's in conditions like this, when the person and the people that are achieving things that they normally don't do are doing it in the most adverse conditions.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. That's, you know, unfortunately, I never got to meet Dave and stuff, but I've heard a lot about him,
Great
you know,
man.
and of course, we all know Mike Penland, and Mike was real good friends with Dave, and so Mike's told me a lot about him. You know, we've traveled the races some together, you know, and had some good conversations.
Of course, we tell I mean, they're all good stories. They're all great stories, as a matter of fact. But, yeah, I mean, and there's so much, man. I mean, his thumbprint is on so much in the world of motorcycle and ATV racing. I mean, the ATV National Motocross Championship, the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross National, it has got his fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. See Fowler coming up to the FMF PowerPoint again, and looks like he's struggling just a little bit there. You know, you lose a little momentum,
Yeah.
and boy, it really affects you.
Wow, and look at that. You see that he's bouncing a little bit more. Those rocks are growing out there, it looks like.
Yeah. You know, the soil gets torn loose from around the rocks. You know, the tire's spinning, it kicks the dirt out, you know, so the rock gets exposed more, and we just saw Fowler's bike kick up in the back here and stuff.
And I think if you compared last lap to this lap, when him going up that hill, that's probably what you would note as being the, look at that. I mean, that right there, that would be what would be the difference in speed this time.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
So, wow, Walker Fowler still out front, still man on a mission right now. He should be checking in here in just a couple minutes with the east side of the mountain. That's hard to believe. We're still watching the east side. He's about ready to finish up on the west side. We'll see him in the pits here in just a couple moments, then a few more minutes before we see him at the finish line. But look at this. Right now, we go down to 12th place overall is all we've got checked in for that east side completed for the second time. Walker Fowler back for another pit stop.
Yeah, fuel, goggles. Looks like they
Fresh pair of gloves, maybe?
Yeah, or maybe they took the fire extinguisher and just washed them off, I think. Possibly, I'm not sure, but that's, you know, I've never thought of that, but that's a great idea. You know, it's a lot quicker than changing the glove. You know, that takes a long time, really, to get the old ones peeled off. And, and then your hands is wet and stuff, so it's hard to get the new ones on, but hey, you get that mud and slime off there, at least it gives you some grip back to what you have. So.
Aren't you glad you sat in the booth today, buddy?
Learning
all kinds of secrets. You know?
Kevin Trantham once again joining us here on RacerTV and our GNCC Live, taking the win in the 4x4 Pro class in our 10 o'clock race today. And welcoming him here to the broadcast studio, Rodney Tomlin along with you as well, myself, and of course Mikey Waynes is here. And Mikey, I haven't called you Mikey Nichols, but Mikey Nichols is here.
I saw Mikey earlier. We talked for a minute, so yeah. We just keep giving him his shout out.
When I saw Mikey today, I was like, oh, great, here we go. I just got it out of my system. But yeah, good to see Mikey back out with us. And good to see a lot of the unfamiliar names with us here at GNCC. There's Walker Fowler. Is that Fowler again?
Yeah, he just made it through the pits and coming back out onto the paved road and heading to the finish.
I don't know if the other rider was waving him on or throwing mud at him, just messing with him.
I'm sure they're all having a good time at this point, no doubt.
Well, we got the XC2 guys checking in. We had a question about Brandon Eichert, J.D. Brown. Can J.D. Brown, Valley Head, West Virginia's own, maintain the lead in the XC2? He has dropped to the number 2 spot in class. He is now 13th overall, as Brandon Eichert has now taken over the lead out of Hickory, North Carolina. Hickory could be big winners here today in GNCC.
You know, always got to pull for the North Carolina boys for sure, you know, but definitely good to see Brandon out front. You know, both these guys, you know, hats off to them, and I'm sure it looks like they're having a good race, good battle, and I hope, you know, I hope Brandon can hold on to it and take his first win today. You know, that'd be great. We'd have a few first-time winners, you know, today.
That would be neat. I
see BRYCEN NEAL in the pits, also getting fuel and goggles and maybe gloves or washing them off.
But you know, BRYCEN's got to be pretty stoked knowing where he's at on the track right now, physically in the second place position. But man, head games have really got to be going on with him right now, wondering what's going on with Kevin Yoho.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would almost have to think at this point it'd probably be best to put that out of his head, and probably best if he didn't even know, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, that, well, every rider's different. You know, I mean, some guys want to know, you know, where everybody's at, you know, and then some don't. You know, I'm not sure how BRYCEN is, but, you know, sometimes I want to know, sometimes I don't. I guess it all depends on how well I'm doing and where I'm at, you know.
Well, if he knows, you know it's got to be playing mind games with him right now. Where is Kevin Yoho? What's he doing? What's going on with that guy? And the question is we got more in the pits here. Is that Chris
That's
BORICH?
Chris BORICH, yep. He's getting fuel and goggles and towels and...
No sense of urgency?
No, it's...
Now, I believe he is still third physically on the truck, if I'm not mistaken, with Kevin Yoho still time adjustment is what has got him in the second place position. And I don't know where Kevin Yoho, we mentioned a few moments ago, we did not see Kevin Yoho pit a few moments ago. But remember, Kevin is not one of the top 10 pros anymore, so he might be pitting in an auxiliary spot, which will be out of camera shot. So he may or may not have pitted. So if he didn't pit, wow, what a long road to hoe to try to get back to the pits when we've already seen all the top guys pitting twice.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and a day like today with, you know, there's a lot of high-speed stuff and you know, in the mud and all that, I mean, you're going to be burning a lot of fuel today. And no doubt that's why we're seeing them, you know, getting fueled twice. Normally they only take fuel one time during the race. So there we see Fowler coming in, taking the white flag. So
all right, see, what was it? Just 15:11, I think, last time whenever he came through, and a 15:13. So he's right on pace on that west side of the mountain as he was a lap ago. So he hasn't really lost or gained a whole lot on his particular perspective. He is just racing his race right now.
Yeah, he's just a man on a mission, you know, and hats off to Walker. You know, I can remember when he was just racing in the youth, you know, and from way back then, I mean, we knew that he'd be one to rise to the occasion.
I think he was obviously the first GNCC ATV prodigy. You know what I mean? I mean, in reality, and he's living up to everything that everybody expected, maybe even more than some expected to see him out of.
For sure. It's good. He's a great kid, you know, and hats off to him. You know, he's doing very well for himself.
He is, and not only on the racetrack. I have to commend this young man on his business tactics as well. And I think, you know, he's learned a lot. He learned a lot from Bill Balance. He learned a lot from Randy Hawkins, and here he is. He's taken that information and he's applied it to his own program out here, and he's got a really good, successful program going on. And you know, when you see people switching programs around a lot like that, sometimes you wonder if there's going to be any problems with that, because sometimes there's some product changes or whatever the case may be, because you know, making those switches and stuff. But man, Walker has transitioned from each phase without much issue, but he's kept a lot of the same sponsors at the same time too.
Yeah,
that's key.
Yes, for sure. I remember at one point in his career, you know, back when he was in the youth ranks and stuff, you know, he raced the ATV on Saturday and the dirt bike on Sunday, which I know he started on the dirt bike first, and he was one of the ones that got the youth ATV racing started in the GNCC, you know, and stuff. So
he won the very first new youth championship. I think when Johnny was little, I think he said they used to have a little bit of youth racing back then, but it kind of went away with the way the industry and stuff was. And then when we reintroduced it, it's basically been the Walker Fowler era all the way up through there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I think at one point I heard Walker.
Oh, just got a report there, Kevin. Sorry to interrupt you, but Hunter Hart has broke down.
That's a tough break.
That is. And Mike, I don't know if you can find him out there in the auxiliary pro pits, but maybe you can get a word in with Hunter or somebody to find out exactly what happened. But what a heartbreaker there for Hunter, man. All right, we do have some footage. We don't have our fiber optics right now, but we do have some recorded footage that we're going to go to here from RacerTV. Look at it. We got a fight. It's a big brawl down there is what it is.
That's mud wrestling, right?
That's West by God, Virginia mud wrestling right there. That was on the first lap. Those boys are out there playing, and I don't even think that the guys came through at this point, man. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they were doing. Look at that, American flag, America, right there, baby. Look at the people down there, Kevin. Was there that many people down there when you were there earlier?
I tell you, there was a bunch. You know, it was hard to see. You know, I mean, there was so much mud and stuff, but there was a lot of people, but probably not as many as there are now. But that is amazing. You know, it's hard to negotiate through there a lot of times because there is so many people. You know, it's hard to tell a lot of times if a line is open or if somebody's stuck in it, or many times there's fans and spectators in the lines, you know, and I had to holler at some this morning, hey, move, you know, you're right in the track, you know, and stuff, but it gets crazy.
Heard old school Blackwater stories and stuff like that, people tell them, there's that guy waving at everybody again.
I think he's maybe just waving at the camera guy.
But anyway, yeah, the stories from years gone by, man. I mean, it all comes to pass, I think, and you know, it all comes together, and even sometimes repeats itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is one of those days, man. I think where Blackwater style life is repeating itself here. Again, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination this is quite extreme as what the 25 miles of Blackwater was and what it worked into, but for what it is about as close as you can get, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, I never did get to do the Blackwater. By the time I started racing, you know, it was already over and stuff. But you know, I've got to see some of the old footage of the Blackwater. You know, and there again, some of the trips with Mike Phelan. You know, he's told me a lot about it too and stuff. He got to race in them and everything, but it definitely sounded like it was a very challenging race to say the least. And
there's LW right there making his way down the roadway. You know, and from what I remember talking with a lot of people, the Blackwater. Hey, by the way, just got word that we got an interview coming into this weekend's race with Landon Wolf, and it's cool because Landon is on the verge of something big.
I think so too. I think you're right. You know, and it's good to see. You know, I try to keep up with everybody. You know, ATV and dirt bikes. I don't know as many of the dirt bike guys, but you know, try to keep up with them and stuff. But it's always exciting for me to see the new guys. You know, newer guys that are moving up through the ranks and stuff and coming into their own and stuff. I always like to see that.
Yeah,
it's always a good thing.
Well, Landon got his first podium last year, if I'm not mistaken, at the Ironman GNCC, and that kind of set the stage for 2017. We got a chance to catch up with him, see how things are going, and what he's expecting out of this weekend.
Probably a little bit more experience. Obviously pretty new in the pro class. This is my 4th year now, but you know, a lot of other people are been in there for years and years and years. But no, it's I'm starting to get it together. I'm getting my starts together, which makes the whole day easier. But just keep plugging away and been working really hard. My trainer's been working really good for me, and putting a lot of time in at home practicing, and it all seems to be working. I mean, in Indiana, I ended up with a 5th, not too far from 4th, and then in New York, I was running 5th all day as well, right behind 4th, hoping to eventually move on to 4th, but made a little mistake there on the last lap. So I think, like I say, a lot of it's experience, just getting to know my limits and finding out what works.
LW, man on a mission here, and I think we have not seen or heard the last of the number 7 machine here from 2017 for sure. And right now, just want to give you some updates. Fowler is in. He has a 2-minute, 23-second lead physically over BRYCEN NEAL now, as NEAL checks in 2nd. Not only on physically, but now on adjusted time, as Kevin Yoho has checked in with his 4th lap complete. The Hopedale, Ohio native, number 19, has now checked in and dropped to a 3rd place position, 1 minute and 5 seconds off pace. But get this, I'm going to update this. Brian Wolf has moved into the number 4 position. The 341 of Brian Wolf is on his way to a possible podium position finish if things fall in his favor. Brent Sturdivant is now 5th place position. 6th place, Cody Collier.
Chris BORICH, unless his transponder has, he has checked in and they haven't updated his times, as we know he has transponder issues, is at least back to a 7th place position if that is the case. All right, so we just updated it again, and Chris BORICH, according to some timing and scoring, is up to a 5th place position. Mine might be like, oh, Brett Sturdivant. Okay, yeah, he is 5th place. Cody Collier in 6th, 7th is Chris BORICH, so that's what we're kind of waiting on right there. But there again, Sturdivant, he may not be in that top 3 overall position, but again, he's still holding steady, and I think adrenaline's still flowing for him pretty strong.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, and we know Brent doesn't get to do the full series, the full 13 rounds now. So, you know, for him to finish in the top 5, I'm sure it would be a good day for him. You know, I'm no doubt he would be happy with that. I think, of course, everybody wants to win, at least get on the podium. But you know, a top 5 is a very respectable place to finish. You know, amongst all the top talent. You know, in the XC1 class.
I agree wholeheartedly. I have some information over some things, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I can find it, I put it in the announcer notes. Here we go. I think Brent Sturdivant actually has finished top 5 here before, and maybe even gotten a podium position finish in the last 5 or 6 years or so. As we look back as far as 2010, let's see. It must have been a little bit before that whenever I saw Sturdivant's name on the, but that's what I got listed only as far back to 2010. So if you went back and looked at the archives, I think Sturdivant's been top 5 here in Snowshoe before. Yeah. And I know
think so too. Maybe even higher than that. I'm not sure.
I'm thinking he got a 3rd place position one year. I'm not sure which year it was, but I'll have to go back and look at it regardless. He is, I think, coming into this race, and you can probably attest to this. I mean, being in your home state, being in types of territory and terrain that you like, it's got to be that extra incentive.
Oh, and there's no doubt about that for sure. You know, I'm sure he's got a lot of fans out there cheering him on and stuff like that. So that's giving him some extra motivation to be able to, you know, push it a little harder and a little longer, you know, to try to get that top position. But another name I see, Cody Collier in 6th. That's he's having a good day today. I tell you, that's a good run for Cody.
I think this might be his best ride so far here in 2017, up to 6th place right now. LW back there in 7th, 4th, 7th. Marty Christopherson on the 8 is 8th. We've got Jared McClure in 9th on the number 4 machine. And remarkably right now, Adam McGill might salvage some pretty good points today. Things are really tight in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th place positions right now. So McGill is thinking, you know, maybe I can't chip away points at Walker Fowler right now in the overall championship, but I can do everything I can do to hold on to the number 2 spot.
Yeah, for sure. You know, damage control, we call it, you know, and just keep going, you know, and keep making laps, and, you know, and who knows who might else have issues or troubles it's ahead of him. You know, I mean, he could gain 4 or 5 positions just on this last lap. I mean, it's, you never know.
Yeah, you're so right. We've seen it happen already today. We've seen, who was it, Brian Wolf move up through the pack from like, what, 8th or 9th up to 5th and now into a 4th place position.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We could see the Wolfie up on the podium today. I mean, it's, you know, it's not out of the question.
I think this place would come unhinged. I think there's a lot of Brian Wolf fans here on Snowshoe
no
Mountain.
doubt, no doubt.
And I bet you there's a lot of BRYCEN NEAL fans here, too.
Yeah. It's
BRYCEN comes from just across the river in West Virginia, Bidwell, Ohio. That's in Gallia County down. And let me tell you, I'd say he's got a lot of fans in West Virginia as much as he does in the state of Ohio. I'll tell you what, folks, right now we're looking at it. Should be seeing our leaders check in. I'm going to gather probably in about 18 minutes is my calculations right now on timing and scoring. We got Walker Fowler out front, BRYCEN NEAL in 2nd, Kevin Yoho in 3rd, Brian Wolf in 4th, and another West Virginia, or well, it was 4 Ohioans, Buckeyes in the 4th place. But the only West Virginia native right now in the top 5 is Brent Sturdivant. Can he claw his way up to a podium position finish? Stick around, West Virginia fans. We're going to find out when GNCC Live continues.
Are you looking for a dirt bike piston that can increase power and decrease blow-by? Then check out Wiseco's all-new Racer Elite piston line. Racer Elite has been used exclusively by the pros, including RCH, Yoshimura, Suzuki Factory Racing, and are now accessible to the public. Available for popular 250 and 450cc dirt bikes, the Racer Elite series is the first off-the-shelf asymmetrical power sports piston ever made. Its fully machined billet aluminum construction features an exclusive custom lap top ring. Step up with dyno-proven power gains with Wiseco's Racer Elite piston line.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it in the air. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast. I didn't really like high school too much. Too booky, too take notes, learn this, and that's it. Yeah, WildTech, they had full-size motorcycle. The feeling of taking them apart every day, putting them back together. You can't explain it. Everything I learned applies to now. Seeing your motorcycle that you put together right around the track at 180 miles an hour, oh, definitely rewarding. My name is Mike. My school's WildTech.
Get on the fast track to a career. Turn pro at WildTech.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes and Kevin Trantham. And, of course, right now Walker Fowler on his way to what could be his only his second win, if I'm reading this back right, second overall win here in the Snowshoe Mountain. And that's hard to believe itself, man. I mean, I would have thought that Walker actually, got one in 2013. And this has been at least since 2010. I don't think he won before that. No, he's been on the podium a bunch, but he's only won it one time that I can see, at least in the last 5-6 years. So, man, this could be a historic day for Walker Fowler. And he's talking about renaming this place, man. They already got a big Walker Mountain. You reckon he's going to call this one Fowler Hill or something?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, talking about that, I thought Walker had won more here than that as well, but
I might have to go back.
But maybe it hadn't.
I'm going to scan some more of the results, but yeah, that's kind of interesting because I really thought that he won more than that myself. I look here, I see Brian Wolf won back in 2010. We got Adam McGill. He wins. When did Adam McGill win? I know he won 2011. He won 2014, 2015. I think he won also back in like 09 or 08 or something like that.
Like somebody said he'd won about 5 times here.
I think he's got 4 wins, so he was working on his 5th win.
Okay.
As Mikey Waynes makes his way back into our RacerTV studios, and Mikey, I know you were out trying to get the scoop and everything on Walker Fowler, or not Walker Fowler, but Hunter Hart. And I'm sure that was a hard scoop to find.
That was very, very hard. I asked several people, and they said, well, I saw him go by, but I don't know where he went. I searched up and down where a lot of the XC2 guys are pitting and never saw Hunter Hart. So I don't know where he's at. Honestly, knowing Hunter Hart, he may be out there helping people pick lines.
That makes a lot of sense. He might be off the side of the bike and say, the heck with it, I can't race. So let's see what we can make happen here, help make happen here.
And mentioning that, I see that, and I try to if I get stranded or broke down or something, try to help the other guys out that's out there racing point lines or whatever. And I see a lot of other racers do the same thing, and it's nice,
It gives you a chance to check things out too, man. I mean, it's frustrating, I know, not to get to finish your race, but when you sit around, look at how beautiful your surroundings are. It's probably kind of overwhelming in a sense. And speaking of which, we've got some great video clips from just around Snowshoe, West Virginia itself, and the beauty that it beholds you whenever you begin your transition from ground zero up to 48-48.
Alrighty, so much to see and do here at beautiful Snowshoe Mountain Resort. A great place to visit in the summer, a great place to visit in the winter. And I can tell you, it's also a great place to visit in the fall when the fall foliage is on, man. I mean, every season holds something special near and dear to your heart here if you're a nature lover at Snowshoe Mountain. So I suggest, man, anytime you get a chance, wherever you're at, if you're within a couple hours, you can swing by Snowshoe, West Virginia to do so, because there's a lot of great things going on here.
Yeah, for sure, Rodney. I tell you, we got a great race going on too, and I'm anxious to see how this last lap plays out here. You know, we got some guys up here some new names that we don't see a lot and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. We know Walker's got a nice lead, and good to see BRYCEN up. You know, we know he had the bad luck at New York losing the wheel and stuff. So it's definitely good to see him running up in second place. That'll help to heal some of the pain from the last round.
Well, just over 10 minutes is my calculations. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of about 11 or 12 or so before we'll see the checker flag come out for Walker Fowler. And wow, what a big day here today. And looking at timing laps, you know, in doing my scoring and my timing and scoring and stuff, I don't know that this is going to be real long. I was thinking it might be 2:10 or so, depending on how things went. But right now, with the way things have picked up, and we're now into the 29-minute mark for those lap times on the east side of the mountain, that would put us right in at almost exactly 2 hours now. So as we said, you know, depending on whether it speeds up or slows down, or whether we could be looking at a long race. Well, all of a sudden, a long race becomes a normal race.
Yeah.
And that's wild how that can transition in just a matter of a few minutes like that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, for sure.
I mean, these guys definitely on a roll. I could have been a little bit miscalculating, but that was when we were figuring 32-minute laps on the other side of the mountain and near 16-minute lap times on the west side of the mountain. So you take out into consideration, we're down to the 15-minute mark. We're down to the 29-minute mark. I mean, we're losing, you know, a couple minutes. That adds up, and that's where that over 5 laps, 3 minutes a lap, that would have been 15 minutes. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I was thinking 2:10, 2:15 was where it would have been. But with the speed up, that's exactly what happened. You know, I think Jeff Russell's a genius, man. He foresees this stuff somehow or another. I'm sitting and listening to him, and you ask him, well, I think things are going to speed up, and, well, things will probably slow down. And, you know, probably 9.5 times out of 10, he's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, you know, he's done it a couple of times.
Once or twice. He learned from the best, man. I mean, he worked side by side with Big Dave, so, I mean, he learned it from the best, there's no doubt. And Jeff Russell, my tip of the hat to that man as well.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
an amazing trail boss, an amazing man to work with and to work for as far as that goes. And I know that you, as a rider, you guys have to have a lot of respect for him as well.
We do. You know, and it's always good to see Jeff out. Usually we see him on Fridays when we're walking the track, you know, and just stop and talk and, you know, and say hi, catch up, whatever, you know. But it's always good to see him out there. And
he's always got an interesting perspective on things, doesn't he?
He does. He really does, you know. And you know, everyone, you know, at GNCC and Racer Productions, all the track crew, I mean, you know, it's just a great group of people, you know, and it, you know, it takes a lot, you know, to put on one of these events, much more than most people here. Most people don't have an inkling of an idea, you know, what it takes to do this, you know, and I don't myself, you know. I'm learning more. I've learned a lot today, you know, just being in here involved with some of this stuff. You know, there's a lot to it for sure, you know. So hats off to everyone, and we appreciate you know, everything that y'all do for us, you know, giving us a good race series to run in, and you know, and good venues, and you know, and beautiful places like Snowshoe.
You've been around as long as, about as long as I have. I started, I think my first experience was like in '96. I started announcing and going to a few hit and miss ones here and there. So you know that the history of it as well as I do, and I mean, so much has happened in the time that we've been around in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To mention everything that went on before. Kind of right now searching for some notes and some things, and just trying to keep you folks up to date. Again, I just want to apologize for technical difficulties again. We had everything set up. Wind is we were waterproofed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we were waterproof. We did not expect the wind here on Snowshoe Mountain that we got last night. So
I know when I got up this morning, you know, it was about 6:30 when I came out, and you know, it's very foggy, cloudy. I mean, we was up in the clouds, and not sure what that was, but I think it's.
Dedicated.
Yes.
Chelsea, you are dedicated producers, all I gotta say. Whoa, look here. These are the kind of things that happen on the trail.
That's
the
all
kind
it takes. That's right there is all it takes.
One guy all of a sudden becomes 4 guys, and then all of a sudden it's mayhem, and 2 guys get through, and the face of the race changes just like that.
Exactly. It can happen so quick.
Oh, I think we need an award for Chelsea, our producer here today and director. She's doing that both, and good job.
You know,
Excellent
looking
job.
at the results here, Rodney, one name that I don't see, I don't know, we know Chris BORICH is having transponder issues, but I don't see his name in the top 20. I don't know if he didn't get put in or what, you know, but
yeah,
I don't know if something's happened there, but
yeah, that'd be
get an
interesting to
update
see.
on
Yeah, I'll be looking for. We'll try to find an update out on that. But some of the latest riders to come through include Kate Vanderpool. Let me run through these classes real quick. I forgot about the Mid-State Chevy Midway Report, man. And we're a little more than midway through, but I'll tell you, it's certainly worth checking into. There's no doubt. With 4 laps down through our top 5 in the XC2 Pro-Am, Eichert, Brown, Feehon, Covert, and Henthorne. Kenny Schick is 6th. Gabe Nod has now dropped to 7th. Those were the guys that we saw at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place positions. Devins Masters is now 8th. 9th is Matt Lindell, rounding out the top 10 is looks like Taylor Arnold. So we are starting to see that change toward the end of the race. I think that, like you were talking about, time and not, I wouldn't say preparation, but physical fitness and stuff like that coming into play. Not taking anything away from anybody. This is a tough venue. John Glotta leading top amateur right now. He's top 20 overall. He is leading the College A class. Drew Landers at 217 in 2nd. Dustin Adkins, his son, is 3rd. Caleb Hagan, the number 50 in 4th. Nick Royalty rounds out your top 5. 6th place, McCain Jennings. Andrew Banaboski in 7th. 8th, Joey Lambright. 9th, Joseph Erickson. In 10th place, Seth Wilson. As we roll through this Junior A 22-plus class, 27, Nick Mastrangelo out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, leading the 301 of Matt Glova. There's a new name for us. Steve Covert, that is, I believe, Greg's brother, the 25, running in the number 3 spot. Matthew King, the 41, is 4th. Bryden Nichols, 385 in 5th, and it's James Mauger Jr. at 6th. Brody Livingood in 7th. Changes going on there, it looks like, too. Jade Millwood in 8th. Ryan Thompson in 9th. Doug Morris rounds out the top 10. We see a lot of changes already in just the first few classes. Dustin Hendershot now up to the number 1 spot in the Vet A class. Yes, he has taken over the lead out of Washington, West Virginia, put 14 seconds between himself and top class competitor A.J. Coots there at the 28 machine. Jeff Pickens, 7 minutes behind those guys in the number 3 spot. They are on the same lap, believe it or not. Travis Austin is 4th aboard the 359. My buddy, the Marlboro man, Todd Muscala is 5th. Brad Whitehead in 6th. Adam Reed is 7th. Chris Shaw in 8th. Walter Schumacher in the number 9 spot. Right now, as we look to Senior AB, Wes Stone leading Michael Hayes right now. 12 minutes, 11 seconds. That was after 2 laps of racing. And these older guys, that's where the war of attrition really starts to take its toll, I think, on a lot of these guys. Michael Hayes, the 416 is 2nd. Chris Berry, the 411 in 3rd. Stephen Holmes, the 404 in 4th. Bibby McCauley in the number 5 spot. Then the 771, Andy Cooper is 6th. Joe Grower in the number 7 spot. Michael Zadell rounds out your 8th place in the Senior AB. Now to the B classes. We see Michael Anderson leading by nearly 8 minutes over Cameron Abey, the 888. Chandler Berner still working on his 3rd lap, was 1 minute 55 seconds behind Abey. I'd say it's a little further back than that now as he runs 3rd. Emily Wise, the 419 and 4th. She's doing good. Cole Jackwish, 746 and 5th. Carter Kearns, hadn't seen him all year long. Hadn't seen a lot of him since the youth ranks, but here he is, a 591 in 6th place in his home state. Doug Higgins, the 719 in 7th. 8th place, the 409, Dylan McClellan. 9th place, Nathan Burkholder, the 403, and rounding out the top 10, the 67 of Donald Boylan in that College B class.
Moving next to the Junior B class, the 89 Chris Ballou out of Leoma, Tennessee. 235 William Wallace out of Street, Maryland is second. In the 424, Travis Matthews is third. Reese Parvin, the 500 in fourth. Evan Timko rounds out your top 5. 6th through 10th now, Chris Miller in 6th. Ben Danner is 7th. In 8th place position, we got Anthony Simonetti, 9th place, the 633 of Grant Pick. And Mike Isaacson, the 439 rounds out your top 10. Can you say that one more time? I need the parents of Matthew Ellison to report to scoring. Parents Matthew Ellison, please report to scoring. Scoring finish line area. My buddy, New York Dave Napo, he did well in the mud, actually won at the X Factor. Had some struggles in his home state of New York, come up a little bit short, but here he is in the extreme conditions with a 1:48 lead over second place in the class, John Kerr. John Salsa running in the number 3 spot, Aaron Hendershot in 4th, Zachary Phillips in 5th, Jeremy Gouchard is 6th, Alan Tuttle in 7th, Lyle Morrison 8th, Nathan Pierce in 9th, and Adam Sadlon rounds out your top 10 there in the Bet B class. And I believe that may wrap up this Mid-State, and it does, Mid-State Chevy Midway report. I want to say thanks to Mid-State Chevy. Of course, check them out at the Flatwood exits off of I-79 in the heart of West Virginia, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. Now back to the action at hand. We are now just over 2 hours into this race. As we see the time clock there in the corner of the screen, Walker Fowler leading Brycen Neal, Kevin Yoho, Brian Wolf in 4th, Brent Sturdivant in 5th. Cody Collier 6th, Landon Wolf 7th, Marty Christopherson 8th, Jared McClure 9th, Adam McGill in 10th. And again, I think it's pretty interesting just the simple fact that we don't see an XC2 guy in the top 10 now, as we did see them inching in what could possibly have been a threat for a podium position finish here today. Brycen Neal off his quad and stuck in Howard's Hole, our second place rider. What a heartbreaker there, man. He was looking at his best finish, and unless they get that thing going, he is possibly going to be overtaken again by Kevin Yoho. He had 1:05. He had another 2:27 over Brian Wolf. Does he have 3 minutes to spare? Can Brian Wolf make that up? Will Brian Wolf make the podium at the expense of Brycen Neal now? What a heartbreaker, and I don't know how long it's going to happen. We just got the report. Neal off his bike, stuck in Howard's Hole. That's not a good sign. You would think, though, the mud fleas would fix that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw some video footage of Howard's Hole. There's hundreds and hundreds of people there, so I'm hoping, you know, maybe they can get him out real quick and get him going. I just hope he didn't have a mechanical issue that caused him to get stuck, you know.
Man.
But, you know, with Neal being stuck in Howard's Hole, then
there's Walker Fowler taking the checker flag.
Fowler's got to be coming through pretty quick.
I was thinking the same thing. We were getting right on time. We were right there in that 15.5-minute mark of being late from the other side, which was about what we had been the entire race, and I think he kind of snuck up on everybody. But look how muddy Walker Fowler is, and he was basically out front the entire time. Walker Fowler does it, my friends, takes another big win, and a win here at Snowshoe Mountain Resort. Do we rename it? So Chris BORICH was out there, still going. He wasn't showing up on our monitor, but it sounds like that he's got by him physically. So now Chris BORICH might be second in class. That would be huge for him, especially knowing that he's struggled a little bit today himself.
For sure. Yeah, I'm anxious to see how the rest of the classes come in and finish up here. We got some.
Kevin Yoho now into the number 4 spot as he is behind Chris BORICH, I believe it is, and I believe Brycen Neal. So if that puts Yoho back to 4, no, Brian Wolf may have gotten around then.
Yeah, he could.
No. Let's figure this. Walker Fowler, Chris BORICH. Who's in third? That's the question right now. We may have Yoho still in 3rd place, and Neal may be back there as well. So, man, this is what time adjustment does. It totally throws everything off, and it makes you second guess, and especially you should, rightfully so, because you don't know what's going to be taking place here. And coming down to the finish, you know, Walker Fowler, fabulous win there, man. Big win here on Fowler Mountain, Fowler Hill, whatever he wants to call it. I guess he gets the name of for ATV
that's
Day.
right. I guess he can do that now since he took the win today. You know.
but the question is, what's going on back there in second, third, fourth, fifth place positions? What's going on with these XC2 guys right now? Are they able to see these guys work their way up to the pack, that the Fehans, the Coverts, and the guys that were struggling in the early part of the race, man? I tell you, this last lap really going to tell a whole lot about this race. And just to let you know, 2 hours, 1 minute, 14 seconds is what Walker Fowler was able to run that race in out there. You're not going to get much closer to 2 hours than that right there. And Walker Fowler, that's what the time that he spent when since the green flag waved to the time he took that checker flag. So congratulations, Walker Fowler. Big win for you here today. Let's see, that is this is round 8 for the season, so that's win, what, number 7 now, I think?
I think so, yeah.
7 wins out of 8 rounds of racing. Pretty impressive. We go to he and Johnny Gallagher's home track here in a couple weeks at the John Penton GNCC, July 8th and 9th. And I got to figure, man, I got to wonder, how are the Ohio fans going to split that up? And here we come into the finish line.
Chris BORICH coming in second.
How about it, Snowshoe Mountain? There he is, the 6-time GNCC champion. He didn't take the win today, but he posted up another second-place position finish here on the mountain.
Is that
McGill built
NEAL?
and Fowler tore down.
Was that NEAL that came in behind?
Actually, well, it must have been, because I don't see Chris BORICH on my list again. So now these are all unofficial right now, but unofficially I see Fowler, BORICH, and NEAL.
Yeah.
So BRYCEN NEAL did come in behind Chris BORICH, and they were somewhat close too.
Maybe
So
Yoho coming in here.
Kevin Yoho should be coming in here in just a moment.
I think it's Kevin Yoho. So now the
Wait a
time
minute,
adjustment,
that time
he
adjustment.
took off, what, row 5 or 6?
Yeah, so
he could knock NEAL off the podium.
And
Yeah, he did.
He did
moved
knock
all the way
NEAL off
to-
the podium, but I think that I believe that that Chris BORICH still should be okay. We'll see here in just a few moments. But wow, a lot of folks are pretty stoked about this today. As hugs around for everybody, and oh man, BRYCEN NEAL's got to be stoked about finally getting where he wanted to get. There's no doubt in my mind that he is.
We can definitely
super
see
pumped.
how hard Yoho's rode. He's got a couple of holes in the rear of his riding pants.
Look at him. Look at him. He literally rode his butt off today. There goes Kevin Yoho. Kevin, we commend you, my friend. That's the exhaustion, the lack of training, being off the bike. All that is starting to take its effect right now. 2 hours of adrenaline, man. That had to be one super adrenaline rush to ride on that for 2 hours like that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You know, and he, you know, we see him here, you know, but if you could talk to him right now, he'd say it's worth every second of it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Good to see him come out and have a good run today for sure.
Yep, and I think, again, actually, they readjust this. They got Chris BORICH's time in there. They got Kevin Yoho's time in there. It goes Walker Fowler with the win. In second place, the number 19 of Kevin Yoho! And Chris BORICH will take the number 3 position after time adjustments, according to timing and scoring right now. And we've got BRYCEN NEAL in. He will check in the 4th place overall position. I don't know that anything's going to change at this point. It still could.
Yeah.
So we don't want to start counting our chickens before they hatch. But I'll tell you what, Kevin Yoho, my friend, you certainly deserve a big pat on the back. A coal miner by trade, an ATV racer. You know, he used to race full-time, work full-time. It all got to be too much. He just started hit and miss type stuff. I mean, he was doing XC2 for a while and decided, okay, I still don't have enough time to train and be competitive in that class. How he was able to pull that out today is beyond me. No, it's not. That's what GNCC racing is all about right there, my friends. I know that tagline, Jason, myself, and Jason Wagon, he used to make so much fun of me because I said that's what GNCC racing is all about. But he knows as well as I do. That's what GNCC racing. Those are the little things. I mean, there's so many things that is about GNCC racing. It's the little things at the end of the finish. The guy that rises above. He may have not have won today, but in his heart, he won this race today.
Yeah, for sure. here we see, I think, maybe Brian Wolf coming in, so see how...
Where that puts him.
Yeah.
We're going to update, and Brian Wolf will finish in the number 5 spot behind BRYCEN NEAL, the 341 out of Medina, Ohio. So far, 5 riders checking in with 5 laps complete here at Snowshoe GNCC.
You know, I'm still anxious to see how this XC2 class is going to play out today, who takes the win in that. I'm still pulling for Brandon, you know, home state boy and stuff. It'd be good to see him get up there. So,
well, he is certainly in the store for that. He is, according to my calculations, about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes out. We should see the XC2 Pro-Am guys starting to check in. Wow, so cool things. Again, we got the 2 finish lines here at Snowshoe GNCC. The over-under bridge at the 1 and the 11-mile marker.
Yeah.
How neat was that?
That was very neat. The crew done a great job in, you know, building a bridge for us. You know, first time we got to do that this year, and it was really neat. You know, every time I went across, you know, seemed like there was always somebody going underneath. You know, and so it was something different and something. It was a neat treat for us, I guess you'd say.
Yes, for sure. I know that the staff here at Snowshoe, the racer production staff, the riders, everybody was pretty excited about that whenever it all came into being and such. And you know, it's something that was mentioned last year, and it happened, man. I mean, you know, it was just a basic statement of, boy, it'd be nice if we had an over/under. It'd make things so much. And lo and behold, here we are.
Here it is, you know, and I know it took a lot of work and stuff to make that happen, but yeah, it's nice to have for sure.
All right, he's still checking in here right now with our XC1s. We got some College B and some Junior A and some Ed A riders and stuff checking in. They're checking in with their 3rd and 4th laps. Right now, we still only got 5 riders in with 5 laps complete. As we wait with bated breath to see, like Kevin Trantham mentioned there a moment ago, what's going to happen in the XC2 Pro-Am class. J.D. Brown, 2nd place. Devin Feehan was 3rd. 4th was Greg Covert. Braden Hinthorn was 5th. Gabe Nod, the California rider, was in the number 6 spot. Kenny Schick was 7th. Devin Masters 8th. Matt Lindell was 9th. Taylor Arnold was your 10th place rider there. And I'm going to guess and say that within the next 30 seconds, we should be seeing the leader in the XC2 Pro-Am unless something happened and they slowed down. That's just maybe 45 seconds, but within the next minute anyway, we're going to see either Brandon Eichert or J.D. Brown. Well, J.D. was several minutes back behind, so we should see Brad. If he doesn't show up in the next couple minutes or the next minute or so, then we're going to start being concerned about whether or not he's able to hang on to that win position. But again, everything hinges on what not only he does, but what everybody does behind him today.
Yeah, for sure.
Landon Wolf has checked in now. Wolf is 7th place. He checks in behind Cody Collier. My hat's off to Cody Collier.
Good
Kudos to you.
Yeah, good run for Cody today.
That could be, you know, confidence boosters. We talk about those. That might be what this kid has been looking for.
Yeah.
Ryan Wolf, by the way, finishes out in 5th place position. So how about that, buddy? Good run here on Snowshoe Mountain. Landon Wolf, Cody Collier, Landon Wolf, Jared McClure in 8th place position, Marty Christofferson in 9th, and again, Brent Sturdivant hold on to the 10th place position. Heartbreaker there for him is he's running a solid top 5 there for so long, and obviously with the last lap, we talk about it, training. You know, that's where it all comes down to it. I mean, an hour and a half, you might have that in you. That last 30 minutes, man, you've got to really have a lot of training under your belt in order to be able to survive that at the pace necessary these days.
Yeah, for sure, Rodney. That is very true.
Well, we've got top 10 in, and Adam McGill is not one of them. Wow. That is not one thing that I expected to say heading into this race today, Kevin Trantham.
No, that's for sure. You know, it's no doubt it's a heartbreaker for Adam. You know, when you're running, you know, for a championship, I mean, you know what it takes to make it happen. You know, and days like today, you know, it's discouraging and stuff. But you know, you can't let that get you down, though. You just got to keep your head up and keep charging forward. And And no doubt Adam will. He's not that kind of guy that's just going to lay down and quit,
Right.
you know. So, but hopefully he'll have some better luck at John Penn.
I agree with you in that respect for sure as I go through some of my notes here. Just to let you know, as we celebrate Walker Fowler's win here today, I believe this is win 40 or 34 for him. I'm looking for the exact number of wins that we have for Walker Fowler as he goes for the all-time wins list himself. But I think as we look at this here and think about the gist of it right now, wow, it's a big day, no matter what win number it was for Walker Fowler, because, man, when you came in, and a lot of people trash talking, and I got to say, I almost think that Walker seemed a little more on edge today than he normally does. I don't know if he was nervous, whether he was a little more focused, but he seemed a little edgier. Not that it was bad or anything. It was a good edgy, and maybe he translated it into what we just saw right there, total domination.
For sure. I'm not sure if this is Brandon coming in, but
should be coming in soon if he has not.
I think it is.
Brandon Eichert is in.
All right.
Brandon Eichert has, according to what I can see here, unless timing and scoring has a different thing to say over the course of the next few moments, Brandon Eichert from Hickory, North Carolina, has taken the win in the XC2 Pro-Am class here today.
Yeah, congrats to Brandon. You know, it's good to see. He's a good kid, like I say, and good to see him get a win today. I know we see Santo DeRisi there congratulating him. You know, they're excited, and you know, it's no doubt.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we roll through this one today, man, what a day. We've got some pretty cool fun facts for you about how ATV racing began at Blackwater and what happened then. And we also got the celebrations that continue on the podium here in the Village Square at Snowshoe GNCC. Stick around. Celebrations are next.
Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. Sound Art is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. Sound Art by Ansia. Your art never sounded so good.
Razor, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2018 Yamaha YZ450F is arriving soon at LoJack Cycle Sales. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service and 15 national championships, we know racing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and view our online inventory at lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tom along with Kevin Trantham, and of course our own Mikey Wayne's heading down to the podium area where he's going to be talking with a few folks, including, of course, our top 3 overall as we take a look at the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com overall results here from the Amsoil Snowshoe GNCC. Fowler, Yoho, BORICH, BRYCEN, NEAL, Brian Wolf in 5th, Cody Collier at 6th, Landon Wolf in 7th, Jared McClure in 8th, Marty Christopherson in 9th, and Brent Sturdyman rounding out your top 10. Man, look at the Ohio names in the top 10 today. That's it's kind of odd because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm from Ohio. I live in some of the most rugged areas of it, and that's southeastern Ohio. And there's nothing that compares to that would prepare these guys for these kind of conditions. Why did they do so well in West Virginia? I guess it's just the love of ATV racing.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, some guys love this place, some hate it. You know, it's just, I guess it's all in what kind of terrain that you like to race in and stuff. But I've always enjoyed coming here. It's always been a challenge and a lot of fun, you know, and stuff. But yeah, it's good to see that. And one thing that we didn't see, like you said before, you know, we didn't see an XC2 guy in the top 10. They were running up there earlier, but you know, throughout the course, you know, they as far as the overall, you know, they fell out a little bit, but still good to see Brandon take the win in an XC2. Hope to get to catch up with him after a while and congratulate him on that.
I'm sure he's probably looking for you right now to try to to say, "Do you see what I just did?
Yeah.
You see what I just did?"
I did get to speak to him before the race, and so I guess I brought him some good luck, right?
Well, there you go, man. He's going to want to talk to you before every race. As we take a look at the XC2 Pro-Am class, some changes taking place. Brandon Eichert takes the win. Greg Covert moves up into the second place position. What a come from behind ride for that rider.
For sure.
Devin Feehan, the 16, in third place position. So another.
Both those guys, you know, they were way down at the beginning of the race.
Oh,
and just like we talked about, you know, it's never over till it's over, and anything can happen. So, but hats off to them. Good comeback for both those guys.
No doubt as we continue to watch this one. And just to give you an idea, I told you I had some pretty cool fun facts about ATV racing and Blackwater and so forth. Well, ATV racing, just to let you know, the first ATC race wasn't an ATV race, it was an ATC race. Three-wheeler race was held in 1983 and was only ran 11 times throughout the course of the Blackwater 100. Donnie Scud Huggins was the first ATV Blackwater champ, and the first ATV quad/four-wheeler winner was in 1985 by Jeff Bernard. Bernard also won again in 1986. There are three multiple winners of Blackwater on an ATV. They included Bob Sloan, who won in 1990, 91, and 92. Jeff Bernard, who won 85 and 86. And Roy Daines, who won in 1987 and 1989. Roy Daines is the brother of John Daines, who created the scoring system known as MyLaps and things like that. Well, he works with him, and anyway, they have a thick tradition in GNCC racing and Blackwater, of course. And well, that's pretty interesting. Roy Daines, sure. 2 wins, 87 and 89.
Yeah.
You talk to the guy, he never brags about it, never really talks about it. And I'm sure if you got him in a bench racing mode, it'd be a whole different story. But pretty cool stuff there. I'm sure there's a lot of great bench racing that is going to come out of this one today. Hey, look at this. A.J. Koontz checks in the Vet A28 Plus class, 14th place overall. And unless something changes right now, and I don't think it's going to because John Glott has checked in the College A class, he's going to be our top amateur today. He'll be the highest finishing non-XC1 or XC2 Pro-Am riders there. And that's pretty impressive stuff there whenever you're talking about the Vet A28 Plus class. Those are guys that are basically at almost 30 or at least 30 and past it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure will this be his first win, or do you know, Ron?
No, actually, he's taken a couple of wins, a few wins already this season. He, Pickens, and Dustin Hendershot, they have been, relentlessly going at it here in 2017. And surprisingly, man, it always changes on the last lap. You can never count on what happens when the white flag to come out is what's happening whenever the checkers come out in that class.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know those guys have had some good battles out there this year, for sure.
Look at Kevin Yoho. Kevin, can you hear me, man? Give me a thumbs up. I guess not. I just want to congratulate
Chris BORICH there.
Yeah, he is. Chris and Kevin, congratulations to both of you guys, man. Look at now, I have not seen Chris BORICH doing that much in my life, smiling and laughing and carrying on after a race, believe it or not. But that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we're going to take a quick check at what happened this morning in the 10 o'clock race while we get things ready to go and head up toward the podium. So 8 o'clock this morning, it was a little foggy/cloudy out, but man, we got that race up and rolling, and what a good battle.
Kevin, this was a hard-fought battle, first win of the year for you.
Yeah, and it feels great. I tell you, it's been a while since I've been in the center of box, and man, I tell you, I'm thankful for it. It was wow, what a race! You know, I mean, we had some gnarly stuff out there. It's just crazy. I mean, we had difficult time on the first lap getting through it, and I was like, man, I know it's going to be bad when we come back around with all the two-wheel drives and stuff, because we were spinning, you know, and having a hard time in four-wheel drive. But man, I can't give it up enough for this Polaris. The Maxxis tires, it just, man, it's just unstoppable, you know, and sure feels great to get the win today. I know me and Kevin Cunningham was battling all day, and unfortunate for him, he got into some lappers. We're trying to get around him, and something happened. But, you know, I hate to take a win that way, but, you know, a win's a win, and, man, I'm glad to get it.
There we go. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, Kevin Trantham, who joined us in the booth, winning that 10 o'clock race there today. And again, like we said, we started out this morning with our head in the clouds, 8 o'clock race with the youth riders, into that 10 o'clock race that turned into be an extended race. I think we were some 2 hours plus late getting started, or excuse me, an hour plus getting started late. We started a little after 2, didn't we? So
yeah, I think it's about an hour and a half.
It was getting close to an hour and a half by the time, but thinking about how long it took to sweep the track, it was over 2 hours it took them to sweep the track and get all the bikes off the track. Crazy. And they were hauling them up from Silver Creek by the trailer load up there, man. So
lots of carnage out there for sure. Snowshoe took its toll on us. And,
well, how about that? Kevin Yo-Ho makes a podium, man. I got to be pretty stoked about that. Chris BORICH makes a podium, and Walker FOWLER makes a podium. And man, this is a great day in the GNCC Racing Nation. There's no doubt. I'm sure a lot of fan favorites and some unexpected things happening out there. I'm sure there's a lot of Walker FOWLER fans that are ecstatic right now, a lot of Chris BORICH fans that are, and a lot of folks that are really super excited for Kevin Yo-Ho right now.
No doubt. We see him hugging, you know, getting a hug there from someone. But yeah, it's hats off to him.
How did he do that? Come out of obscurity basically and come here and run top 3 in the early part of the race, and then of course fight back for the second place position by the time the checker flag fly. He was back 4th or 5th there, and that last lap and a half, man, really paid huge dividends for him, it looks like.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, is Yo-Ho been doing some secretive stuff? You know,
maybe he's got a secret training schedule or something we don't know about, huh? Maybe Mikey Waynes will ask him that question on the podium here in just a few moments. But so just going down, scanning these again, seeing what changes we have. As we told you, 14th place overall is Tommy Kuntz, A.J. Kuntz. He is winner of the Vet A class. Dustin Hendershot took 2nd behind him, and 52 seconds is all he was behind him. College A, John Galata Jr. checks in 20th place overall after 5 laps of racing complete. So, wow, a lot of changes in those guys kind of going back and forth in the overall top amateur battle today. You know, I mean, it's not something that really means a whole lot other than you get top 20 points and you get some big bragging rights and things like that. But, you know, oftentimes to see a rider come from an A class or a class that starts several rows back to be able to finish top 20 overall, that's a pretty big monumental feat, really.
Yeah, it really is, no doubt. I mean, you know, John Galata Jr. there, he took the win in the College A today, 20th overall. Another kid that came up through the ranks, got to race with him, you know, in the 10 o'clock race as well, you know, and it's good to see them, you know, continuing on and doing well. And you know, these kids they're so young. I mean, I look at myself, you know, I know I don't have a whole lot of years left, you know, but you know, they got their whole futures ahead of them. And stuff, so.
Where did all go? Wow, look at that crowd up at the village. Wow, say hi, Snowshoe, to RacerTV.com and all the many thousands of fans across the worldwide globe watching this great event here today. Mikey Waynes is getting things sorted out. And Mikey, when you're ready to go, bro, let us know, as we are about ready to celebrate the top 3 of the Snowshoe GNCC.
Well, thank you, Rodney. And we are ready down here on the podium. Snowshoe, West Virginia. Give it up for the top 3 riders out of the blow class. All right, we're going to get things started here, man. 3rd place finish today, Chris BORICH. This was a tough one.
Oh yeah, for sure. As soon as we were first going off the line there, and led for a while, and then we came to this gnarly section, and there was like 2 lines on this road to go, and I was like, I'll go to the left way. I put the big Maxxis tires on and tried to go up in there. It was a long way, got stuck a little bit, and then Walker and BRYCEN was able to get past me, and then BRYCEN, he ended up burying it, and I was stuck behind him for a while, so I knew I was way back there, and it was just a fight all day trying to play catch up, but all in all, it was a great track. Had a lot of fun out there, and these fans out there are just unbelievable.
Well, great work, man. Talk to us a little bit, man. What's it going to take to see Chris BORICH back up here center of the box?
You know, we've been working really hard. It's just getting everything to go through the whole motions through the whole race and make no mistakes. It's this race here is just a wild card. I mean, there's so many obstacles and so many mud holes, and the lappers were in kind of the good line, so you had to pop off and take chances. But all in all, I mean, my Maxxis tires hooked up great out there, and just ended up 3rd. So we were battling with Kevin there. Me and him rode pretty much all day, and we caught BRYCEN down here in the mud hole and was able to get real close to him. I knew I was trying to gap him. I knew he was probably row 4 to 6. I didn't know where he was, but tried to get there, past BRYCEN on one of the hill climbs coming up here to the finish, and just didn't even know where I was, to be honest with you. So glad to be up here on the podium and definitely get a 3rd.
Well, great work, man. Always good to see you up here, brother. Who are the sponsors you want to thank out there today?
Yeah, you know, my mom and dad, my wife Dawn, just my whole family, my buddy Steve. I mean, everybody that's behind me. I mean, it takes a whole big program to keep this team going. But Maxxis tires, like I said, hooked up awesome out there. Yield Cycle Barn for supplying us with the Suzuki parts, and Brian and Alicia, they're just great people and all. Fly Racing, I mean, they keep us fresh in this gear and so comfortable, and just can't wait for the 18 stuff to come out. HMF, Walsh Racing, Fox Shocks, Gold Speed Tires, Scott Goggles, Shoei Helmets. You got OIP, SSI decals for keeping us fresh out there. Precision Stabilizer was a must. I mean, all these rocks and stuff, tire balls, and AMSoil, VP Fuels, and if I'm forgetting anybody, I mean, I greatly appreciate everybody's help.
There we go, everyone. Chris BORICH. All right. I'm not going to say anything. Don't look that way. All right, guys. Give it up for this man. 2nd place finish today. Kevin, yo. Well, you heard him. You've got to race every single round now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm on the couch a lot.
Me too. And it shows on me. It doesn't show on you today, man. You worked your tail off in this one, and you come away with a 2nd place finish.
Yeah, I can't be any happier. I've been working my butt off in the gym. I've been racing some locals, but that's about it. And just tried my best. I gave it everything I absolutely had. That's all I could do.
Well, you know what? It paid off, brother. Big congratulations to you. I know you got a lot of people out there.
My girlfriend's screaming there. My mom and dad at home, Pap, they're probably losing their minds. I can't even imagine. My buddies pitting me and everything. I love them to death. Thank you. B&R Motorsports, Hauser Racing, Moose Racing, GVC, HMF, GT Thunder. I can't thank Laz and Marianne enough for everything they did for me in the past. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Kevin Yoho. All right, and this guy right here, man, Walker FOWLER. Start to finish, man, you checked out.
I don't usually talk smack very often, so I figured I better back it up.
And there was a lot of it, and I think there was a sense of, I don't want to say joking, because you guys are competitors and you do take it serious, but we loved it, and you backed it up.
definitely, like Adam and I had talked, and it was definitely all in fun. But like I said, he's so successful here that we're all the underdogs. And you know, to see guys like Kevin get up here for their first career podium, it's just awesome. It's such a cool experience. I've gotten to be up here for a lot of guys' first wins, first podiums, and it's cool to. I mean, I remember. He's just a little older than me. I remember being on, you know, LT80s, and he was not quite old enough to be on a Raptor 660 racing some of our local races, and he'd be out there not even touching the foot pegs, just shredding, just getting it done. So super cool to have him up here, and like you said, man, Laz and Marianne, that's some touching stuff. Yeah, all these years later that they were a big part of his program. So the whole BNR guys, it's cool to finally get one of their bikes up here.
Well, good work, brothers. So I know you've got Tim Cotter has got something for you right there. That looks pretty. That's going to look pretty good on the mantle, yeah?
It's going to look good. I was just telling everyone, man, it's like my stomach hurts during the race. This place is just so unpredictable. You think you got it figured out. 2-minute lead. We should be in good shape. And, man, I got stuck twice, and just it seemed like the bottom was falling out of the track. That first lap, there was just a real bad bottleneck. Chris had taken a different line. I went what I thought was going to be a long way, ended up popping out in front of him. And, man, when we all came back together, we just got to this rock, and I got over it, and I just heard rev limiters. And when I got up to the top of it, I looked back, and it's just tire smoke, and no one's moving. So I said, well, just like Johnny said, you run like a scared rabbit.
Well, man, the scared rabbit worked today, brother. Who are the sponsors you want to thank?
Man, these fans, that's what we do it for. You guys are awesome, man. Doesn't get any better than that. Definitely got to give the glory to God first and foremost, and just my awesome family, everyone that was down there in the mud hole, Frenchie and the whole Notman family, my man Devin Ferguson. Just, I mean, there were so many people down there with the Fanatic shirts, Yamaha gear, towels, everything. It definitely, you know, I know we're in West Virginia, but it's, I feel good here from Ohio getting a win here for sure. So, like I said, the fans, man, I.O.
There we go. All right, man. Anybody else? Did we forget anybody? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, there's 30-some sponsors. I'm going to rip through them real quick, guys. The whole WFR Maxxis Yamaha Fly Racing team. This bike, it definitely takes everyone and all the sponsorship backing to keep these things chugging along in this kind of terrain. Definitely FMF Fly Racing making us look good. Lone Star Components, Moto Experts, Hints and Clutches. Day like today, test the clutches. As those with our Maxima oils, it's a great combination. Graphic Works keeping this thing looking good. Fox Suspension, Alpine Star Boots. I see we're actually all in Alpine, so that's pretty sweet. Atlas Neck Brace, Gold Speed Wheels, Flex Handlebars, GYTR, tire balls, man. That is key to this race, is having some good balls there. Webcams, Waynesburg Yamaha. Saw Brian here. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it as always. Georgia Precision, Anti-Gravity Batteries, Moto Seat, Vortex, IMS, Intense Fabrication, Hill International Trucks, my man Larry Mills at DP Brakes. Gotta slow the old girl down when we're fifth gear wide open on some of these fire roads. CV4, Scott Goggles, super important today. Cycro, Works Connection, ODI, VP Racing Fuel. Some of the kids said that thing smells good when we rolled up, and that's all to VP. Carb Sport, Human Race Fuel, we were running good today on that. D&V Trucking, Fuel Customs. Man, like I said, the kids, the fans, feels good to be back.
Walker Fowler, everybody. All right, we'll give you guys a chance to pop some bottles. We'll get, photos. Got to get those photos first. And then we'll pop bottles.
Well, that's win number, I believe, 33 there for Walker Fowler. As we take a look at his wins record, that puts him one step closer to the great Barry Hawk. And, of course, he is fourth on the all-time wins list of ATV GNCC wins and keeps stepping up. And as we like to say here in the GNCC Racing Nation, as he celebrates this win today, to the victor goes the spoils, the sweet, sweet spray of champagne. A true celebration. West Virginia at its finest right here, my friends. The heart of it all and the birthplace of the Blackwater 100 as these guys celebrate. Congratulations, Kevin Yoho and
Man, I tell you, it's very touching, man, to see you up there and to know the roads that you have traveled and, of course, the hard work you put in, man, and all these riders, man, and everybody out there. It's so exciting to watch, and like Walker said, man, just to experience these guys' first times like this is something special, and I know that they certainly feel special as well. But some really nice hardware there for those guys to take home, especially that first place trophy that FOWLER has. Big bottles of champagne, and man, look at that Snowshoe crowd. I'll tell you, folks that are watching at home on RacerTV.com, you've got to be kicking yourself in the tail about this one, as you know as well as I do. This is one that you wanted to be here for this one. And that reminds me to, if you're anywhere in the vicinity, you can make it. Get over here for tomorrow's two-wheel race. The bike racing gets underway, 8 o'clock youth racing tomorrow. We'll have 10 o'clock race, and then, of course, we're scheduled for 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for our XC1, 2, 3, and all of our A, B classes there in the afternoon. So it should be a great time here in Snowshoe. We got plenty of great things. The party is not over yet. We got more podium celebrations coming up with XC2 Pro-Am. We got swag coming up. And we got a chance at this moment to take a look at what took place this morning at 8 o'clock when we woke up with our heads in the clouds, and these kids went straight to work at 8 o'clock.
First place in the overall.
Yeah, it feels really good. Oh, the first time I've ever gotten podium, and I've been racing GNCC for a long time, and I really deserve this one, I think.
Well earned, man. We'll take it back to you guys in the studio.
Well, there you go, folks. Congratulations to Bryce Husband and his first ever, not only podium, but overall win. Had a chance to stand right there about where that guy in that orange shirt is last night and watch the Davison brothers perform there last evening with his father, believe it or not. Coming up tonight, don't forget Andy Ross is going to be back with us as we're going to be playing in the mud. They're filming a video for CMT and the Playing in the Mud song by Andy. And, of course, we got some cool shows coming up tonight. We got graduation ceremonies coming up at 6 o'clock here on the podium. We got the DJ tonight. And like we said, we've got coming up at 8 o'clock, Andy Ross and Playing in the Mud. I think you folks are going to certainly want to stick around for that. Don't go anywhere just yet. We just had an amazing, they renamed this mountain Walker Fowler Mountain. All right, we've already got the request coming in from the GNCC Racing Nation there, it looks like. But wow, what a day. Like I said, we still got Pro-Am podiums to go here in just a couple moments as we'll be bringing our top three up over all in that XC2 Pro-Am class. A lot of strange things going on. Not necessarily strange, but a lot of challenging things there today for a lot of riders. And, of course, J.D. Brown leading that one for so long, ending up finishing 4th place out of Valley Head, West Virginia. One of West Virginia's own, about to tame this mountain, but didn't happen today. Brandon Eichert, who rode second in the class for the most part of the day, was able to move into the lead. He took the win in the class. In the meantime, Greg Covert, Devin Fionn, who were way back in the pack, had to work their way up into a second and third place position as Covert goes second. Fionn goes to the number 3 spot. And then, of course, it was J.D. Brown, Braden Henthorne, Kenny Schick in 6th, Gabe Nod in 7th, Devin Masters 8th, Taylor Arnold in 9th, and Matthew Lindell rounded out the top 10 here in the XC2 Pro-Am. By the way, Hunter Hart, 1 lap is what they have credited to him for, a 14-minute lap on the east side, and that called that for that young rider's day. He was 8th place in overall points heading into today's racing action. Not sure what that's going to do for his point standings, but nonetheless, Hunter Hart having a struggle bit today.
He's got some redemption, and he's got 5 rounds of racing to go here in 2017 to make that all happen. Again, another beautiful view of a great place from where we are here high atop Snowshoe Mountain. Again, 4,848 feet in the air, nearly 5,000 feet up. The air is thin, the skies are blue, and I tell you what, the racing is off the scale. And so will be the party tonight in Snowshoe Village. Come join us if you're close by. If you're not, get hauling this way because you can make it, I'm sure, before tomorrow's racing action gets underway. We expect a very intense 3-hour race tomorrow. Caleb Russell coming in off of a 2-race not win streak off the box 2 race, or actually out of the center of the box 2 races in a row. I think he was on the box the last race, but regardless, the stage is set for a big day tomorrow as far as 2-wheel action is concerned, and I hope that you folks can make it. A beautiful, beautiful day. As we said, we started out, we didn't know what it was, didn't know if it was a rainy day or if it was just clouds or what the case may be, but it all turned out to be clouds after lots of rain yesterday, and last night we got quite a bit of rain. I know the surrounding area really got pounded. I was getting National Weather Service alerts, notifications, probably up until about 2 o'clock this morning. So some pretty gnarly weather passing through the area, but we survived it here on Snowshoe Mountain, and we, of course, just witnessed another epic battle and a great day of GNCC racing here in the great state of West Virginia. Just a couple other, we talk about the Blackwater 100, and you wonder about bike brands and things like that. If how many times Yamaha won, how many times this one won. Well, I'll tell you right now, out of the 11 runnings, Honda won the Blackwater 100 9 times on an ATV or ATC, and on a Suzuki, it won 2 times on a 4-wheeler. And remember, Suzuki was one of the first machines out there to have an actual 4-wheeler. Barry Hawk was also the last ATV racer to win Blackwater, and it was his 4th of 68 total overall wins. Only his 4th of the 68 overall total wins that Barry Hawk took was the last Blackwater back in 1993. Barry Hawk's Blackwater win was part of a 3-race win streak, which included, get this, some of you old folks might remember, Brown Jug, Burr Oaks, and Blackwater. Yes, and of course, now if you wonder about the Brown Jug, well, that one's no longer in existence. However, the Burr Oaks, now aptly named the John Pinton GNCC over in Ohio, which will be running here in a couple of weeks, that was one of the races that he won. So those races all come close together back in the day, and here we are some 20 years later, and they still come back back to back like that. I think that's some pretty cool stuff. Well, we're celebrating down on the podium, it looks like, and we're getting some photos, and we're throwing it down to Mikey Waynes.
Well, thank you, Rodney. As we get things underway here, Snowshoe, West Virginia, let's do it again here. Give it up for the top 3 out of the XC2. All right, we'll get things started, man. Devin, it's been a while. How you been?
Pretty good.
Good, man. Well, this XC2 class, this has just been entertaining this whole season, to say the least. This one, no different.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about round number 8 here. Talk about Snowshoe. What did it take to get you up here on the podium?
It was definitely tough out there. It was pretty rigorous. Just kept the wheels turning, like I said at the start, and tried my best to just keep moving and not get stuck. And, yeah, we ended up 3rd, so it's good.
Good day. Is this you going to carry a little momentum into round 9?
I hope so.
All right, brother. Well, who are the sponsors and folks you want to thank today?
First off, my whole family, my mom and dad, my brothers, everyone that supports me there, and my girlfriend, High Gear Suspension, DP Brakes, High Gear, MR Unlimited Motors, RJR, Hinson Clutches, Spider Graphics, Tire Spine, GBC Tires. That's about it.
That's about it right there, everybody. 3rd place finish today, Devin Feehan. All right, Greg Covert. Greg, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Well, talk to us about Snowshoe, man. 2nd place finish today. A tough one, to say the least. Is it the toughest race out there?
Oh, it for sure is the toughest race, and I would say this year is probably the toughest of them all. They threw in a pretty nasty rock garden there around the 4 or 5 mile mark that we were all stuck on the first lap. You know, every single pro was probably stuck, and we finally made our way through that, and they ended up cutting it out, so that was kind of nice. But the whole track was pretty nasty, you know, rocky, water, mud, it had it all. And the mud fleas were out there pointing the good lines, though. Without them, we would all still be stuck out there. So give it hats off to them guys, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I love it. We love hearing it. So the mud flea's helping you out today.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, brother. Well, who are your sponsors and people you want to thank today?
Definitely my mom and dad. I wouldn't be up here without them. And then my support from my brother. He ended up getting third in the Junior A. And his girlfriend Lily and her parents. And my dad's friend Doug, who came out. And all my friends and family. It's a huge help. And we got High Gear Suspension. Was working really good today. Goldspeed Wheels. Waynesburg Yamaha. Moto Experts. Hauser Racing. Fast Flex. FMF. Spider Graphics, Precision Racing, FPS, Fly Racing, IMS, Works Connection, DP Brakes, Tire Balls, Braptech, Sycra, XC Quad Racers, Elko, Scott Goggles, and Ori Grip.
There we go, everybody. Second place finisher today, Greg Covert. All right, man. Brandon Eichert. Good work. Listen to that crowd. Listen, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels great. That's my first podium and win, so it's unbelievable.
Well, what better place to do it than Snowshoe, West Virginia? Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. This place is something different from anything else, and it's awesome.
Well, great work, man. I mean, hats off to you. A first place finish, first of your career up here, especially for the XC2. I know that's got to feel good. What did it take to get you here center of the box today?
It took a lot of great people behind me, just riding smart all day, and everybody pointing lines, getting you through it, and that's it. It's riding hard and being smart.
Great work, brother. Who are the sponsors you want to thank today?
Gotta thank BRYCEN Racing. They're the biggest support behind me. They got my motors, shocks, everything. It was on point today. And tire spine, no flats all day, perfect. Spider Graphics, they got the best graphics you can buy. Maxxis tires, I mean, grip like you couldn't believe. And Hauser Racing and Quad Tech, HMF, Liette. I can't even thank everybody right now. I got to thank Trevor Payne helping me out in the woods, Chris, Brittany, all the people out cheering me on, Santo, James Reeves, and Austin, and just everybody out there pushing me and helping me get to where I am.
All right, there you go. Brandon, I heard everybody. Grab that bottle of champagne, my man. You earned it. Do some champagne showers. All you right there. You got to get used to this, man, if you're going to be first on the podium. We'll get you guys together, get photos, and Brandon's going to cover everybody in champagne here. First place out of the XC2 today. Great work, man.
Well, that's going to pretty much wrap things up as far as the XC2 Pro-Am podium is concerned here today. One more champagne shower, of course, to come for Brandon Eichert, and congratulations to you. That's going to wrap up our RacerTV.com broadcast, but we've got more podium presentations. You guys stick around there with some top amateurs. Of course, want to say congratulations to A.J. Coots. Also want to say thanks to our co-host here today with us, Kevin Trantham. Also my sidekick there, Mr. Mikey Waynes, and of course all of RacerTV.com and the entire staff here. Good job again today, man. I know you guys had your work cut out for you, but you made it happen one more time. I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.